Lot to be known about people. Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Military helicopter flights reportedly forced at least 2 planes to abort landings at the airport in the week before the deadly collision. One of those close calls came just 24 hours before the collision. Additionally, it has been revealed that air traffic control staffing was, quote, not normal at the time of the collision. And one of the controllers was apparently allowed to leave their shift early right before the fatal crash. President Trump is vowing to fix the DEI rot at the FAA by ordering a review of all federal aviation hiring and safety decisions in response. Here's the president.
This was all caused by bad rules, regulations, and other things by the Biden administration.
Want to get it off your chest? You're in the right place. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? Heard in every state in the Union and 1,000 cities around the world. We just finished 16 years of broadcast excellence, now in our 17th year. The Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. The case for peaceful transition from the Biden-Obama-Kamala mafia, actually, I shouldn't use that word, it's an insult to the mob, has the Dems calling for riots in D.C., on the streets where the Capitol is, and violence against the rest of us. As Jack Nicholson, representing the swamp in A Few Good Men, justified a murder he ordered of a U.S. soldier, the cover-up. Dems now appear to be in the same boat as Colonel Nicholson was burdened with. Corruption. To tell the truth, they both were and are screaming for violence upon Trump, Elon, and whoever voted for that tyrant, Trump, and his hillbilly VP, J.D. Vance. The problem they have is that the case has already been litigated, and the verdict of the almost 80 million who voted for Trump and JD is proof that the Dems are guilty as hell. And the fraudulent jailing of 1,500 innocents just pardoned by Trump are being punished for this, and massive theft of the USA of the millions that have been broken or killed in America and the rest of the world. And now, all we have to do is follow the money. The only problem that I can see right now is where are they going to get all those jails down in Guantanamo? Because it ain't big enough.
One of the first things I told him to do is to get talented people in those beautiful towers overlooking runways. You better get them in there fast, because we don't have people there that are qualified. And you knew that because planes were landing very, very late. It was all because of weak rules in the Biden administration.
On the crash, do you have any concerns that your commentary about things you have described as common sense or your observations could in any way interfere with the thorough investigation of the crash?
No, I think they'll do an investigation. It'll probably come out the way I said it. I was right on all of it, but they'll still do an investigation just to check it out.
Okay, we got a full house today. My name is Dave Weinbaum. I'm your podcast radio host. I'm here with my lovely bride, Lisa Ann Weinbaum. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning.
And we have a special guest here. We have J.J. Bradshaw in person. He's going to be with us for a couple of segments. Yeah. Hello. Hello, J.J.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we have, J.P. Maxwell, the producer. And
Good morning, everybody.
the producer at home is Rick Henderson. He does all the bits and the clips. The guest today, we got a kick butt show. We've got Rabbi Moshe coming on from Israel. As you know, there's been big conversations between Bibi Netanyahu and there was a guest that I interviewed once who hung with him every step of the way and was like on his right side, closest to him in two of these meetings, and that was Ron Dermer, who at one point was the ambassador to the United States from Israel, and now is still. That was 10 years ago, and he is still there, right at Bibi's side. He's his favorite, and that's really something. I got him from, how did I get him? Rabbi Moshe, who I say is the second most powerful person in Israel, and we're going to talk to him. And then after that, we got Chris Adamo. He's always great, and this is everything he has said. In fact, everything I did in my monologue, I meant to mention him there. But I said, you can change these people. You can do this. No, you can't. No, you can change some of them. But some of them are so culpable and so guilty and have stolen so much money and have been involved in the death of many, many Americans and the incarceration of many, many Americans. You can't forgive them because they have no way out other than to call for riots and violence. And a big portion of them are doing it right now. They've already brought up the impeachment word to Trump 15 days after his inauguration. And that is incredible. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh, we got Chris Adamo. I mentioned him. Bill Hardwick. He is a great guest. He's a multi-talented. Oh, everybody here is a multi-talented. But he's a lawyer. He was a platoon leader in Iraq, sort of like what Pete Hegseth says. It's hard to name. I'm going to demand that he change his name because it's hard. Hegseth.
Smith.
Huh? Yeah,
Pete
Smith
Smith.
would be good. Anyway, but Bill knows. I don't think he knew Hegseth. I think he was there at a different time. But he's also a professor, a philosopher, a college professor, and now I've learned that he actually teaches kids jiu-jitsu. I just learned that. I saw a picture in Facebook, and then we have Jeff Zink. Oh my goodness, is his name? He's waiting for the FBI. He's waiting for them to vote on Cash Patel, so that he can get examined to be his right-hand man. This, and he came out of this show. Okay, this is really cool. All right, we've got somebody I know, and it's somebody that's he's straight out of Israel. This man is he is wartime rabbi. Contributions go to soldiers' protection and clothing, while widows are being helped with their children and help to get together with other women in that particular area. And also he unites them with each other. Please welcome the official rabbi to the Dave Weinbaum Show for 15 years. 15 years. I got 15 years. I mean, this guy was here, 16 years. He's got you beat. Rabbi Moshe. This is amazing. I got 30 years experience plus in this room just with you two guys. It's amazing.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
So long. I don't think I've done anything for that many years.
Yeah, your beard was all black back
Yeah,
then. Mine wasn't.
back
Anyways,
then.
so I was watching, and BB and Trump, and I'm looking over there, and right next to him is Ron Dermer,
Yeah.
sitting next to BB as Trump and BB asked questions to them. Dermer right next to him, and they did the same thing with Pete Hegseth.
Exit.
Yeah. So you're still in contact with him?
I haven't been, but not only was Ron Dermer there, but one of my neighbors, Caroline Glick.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was there as well.
Really?
Until last week, she had one of the most popular podcasts about analyzing the situation in Israel, and she had her last show, and she announced that she has a big announcement coming up. And the big announcement was she's part of BB's team now, and she went to Washington with them.
And she's ex IDF. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's true. She's IDF. She also had been part of BB's team, I don't know, 15 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. So she's back on the team, which I'm very happy about.
Oh,
she's besides being brilliant, her analysis of what's going on is really spot on. And
I think I did read it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing,
I'm a reader
Caroline.
of the Jerusalem Post now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, so Caroline used to be a regular columnist in the Jerusalem Post.
Right.
She's not anymore, but she is amazing. So between Ron Dermer and her, you have a lot of brain power in that room.
Yeah, well, get me them on the show once in a while. I'm not going to replace you. I'm just interested in them coming on the show because Dermer, we did a kick butt interview in the airport. In where were we at? Tulsa.
It was in Tulsa, yeah.
Yeah, and you arranged it, and the FBI checked us out. We were in the we were in the airport, and they didn't want to do but 5 minutes. His people were saying, "Well, maybe do you have to do?" Yeah, I want to do this. All right, we'll give you 5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, sure. And so we get there, and the FBI. First of all, the FBI had started all that crap back then. And when the FBI guy is walking us into the room, I'm saying, "What the hell is going on up there?" And he gave me a look like, he gave me a dead look, like he knew, but he couldn't say. I don't know what he's for it or against it, but I'm not going to go overboard and try to kick his butt or anything. But still, it was going on back then, and this. FBI guy searched us, and then towards the end, Ron's people were behind him, looking in on us. His back was turned to them, and they keep going. They keep signaling like this. I got a guy with me who was the producer at the time. He starts dismantling the equipment. I says, "Don't do that. Stop." And finally, Dermer got wind of what was going on. He turns around to these guys and says, "Hey, I'm not done here." He yells out to him. I says, "Just call it." All right. We did 30 minutes. All right. That was so cool. Thank you for that.
It was.
So Trump is going to rebuild Gaza. But apparently he mentioned that, well, if you need troops, we need troops. And now that's been taken back. But he's doing all this, and he is setting up negotiations. Nobody's ever said that before. But he did say with Bibi that you can't do what you've been doing for the last 20 years. You can't have these mowing the lawn situations where you know what the outcome's going to be after about the 18th time. You know what's going to be. And so somehow this problem needs to be overcome. What are your thoughts?
Well, the issue until now has not been the Israeli government, has not been Bibi. The issue is the international, the international pressure against Israel to do what it needs to do. And starting first with President Biden, who withheld munitions He did not allow Israel to do what it needed to do. And with the new U.S. administration that's on board and really seeing eye to eye with the Israeli government, we're very hopeful that the paradigm will shift. Just like everyone said, there cannot be peace with any Arab nation unless you solve the issue with the Palestinians. And along came Donald Trump and his administration the first time around. They turned that on its head and they said, no, that's not true. And look, we have the Abraham Accords. So it's this out of the box thinking that solves problems that seem to be intractable, that unsolvable. And so we need to think out of the box. Now, what's it going to look like, Gaza? I don't know. Is Trump proposing to forcibly remove people? I don't know. I think if there was even the option to freely emigrate, I think half the people of Gaza would leave. That's what the polls seem to show. So I think countries like Ireland, Spain, South Africa, all these peace-loving countries that are siding with the Gazans, they have a responsibility to take them in.
I would say so.
You know, not only that, all kidding aside, they legally do, because if you declare that a country is committing genocide, you have a legal obligation to give asylum to anyone who wants to come. Yeah, so they're in a bind.
How do you claim asylum when you're still in Gaza? You can't claim it.
So these countries are in a bind. They either have to admit there wasn't a genocide, or they have to take them in.
Now let me go back, because one of the one thing that Trump did before the election was he said, you know what, we are not going to we're not going to do anything until the hostages are released, and if they're not released by the time I get into office, all hell's going to break loose. That's important. Biden didn't say that.
No,
he just pandered along and got a lot of people killed by golly.
Yeah, look, it's good. It's good to hear. It's a breath of fresh air to hear this, moral clarity, to be able to say, this is about you got to let these guys go. They're expecting 5 more to be released tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Trump comes in there, and the papers today in Israel are reporting that Hamas is very worried because their internal polls show that the young people all want to leave Gaza, and they rely upon the young people to resupply their forces. And so Israel had intercepted some internal Hamas documents that basically said that they're very worried about this idea of allowing people to emigrate.
Well, so far they've been able to keep people, and you can say, well, that
like gunpoint, right? Do anything,
but they're backing Hamas and have been for 20 years. They had a chance to get rid of them, and they didn't. So right now they're all guilty until proven innocent, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're going to do with that. Saudi Arabia looks like they're in on the Abraham Accords, and they're obviously they don't want to take any Palestinians, but there's room for negotiation with even people like Iran. Youth definitely wants. They have never liked the mullah-run Iran. They always liked the Jews, and they Bibi Netanyahu is a hero to the children of Iran. Do you believe that?
I do believe it. There's always a let's just use an example. In the United States, 70%, 80% of the people support Israel. Yet you have a government that is not reflective under the Biden administration of what the people wanted. You have that. It's not so uncommon to have what the people want and what the governments do. And Iran, of course, it's to an extreme, where you have these very, very religious clerics. I say religious, and this jihadi mentality. That's his false mentality. But then you have the people of Iran who are very industrious and good people, and they were hijacked. Their country was hijacked in 1979, I think it was. So we'll see. Hopefully, big changes will come to Iran as well.
And the interesting thing in connecting them to Ronald Reagan was he's the guy that went and said you're not going to keep these Americans held hostage. This will end immediately, and it ended just before the election, I believe, didn't it?
Yeah.
Between him and Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very similar to what Trump did.
Yeah. This
Now
region.
let's talk about UNRWA
Yeah.
for a minute. And Trump is saying we don't support UNRWA, and he's threatening the UN. So more negotiations there. He's not really going to drop out of the UN, is he?
I don't know about that, but UNRWA is the United Nations Relief Works Agency. They were created simply to deal with quote unquote Palestinian refugees, and so they've also been implicated as participating in October 7th about the UNRWA run schools are staffed by Hamas, and so under the first Trump administration they stopped funding them. And of course, Joe Biden restored it, and then Trump immediately, said, "Hey, we're not giving these guys another dime," and he's right. You're basically funding terrorism, and the idea of any Western democracy supporting this agency that's basically became an arm of Hamas is absurd, and so Trump backed out of it.
Well, they had UNRWA agents actually being part of the attack against Israel.
I saw that exactly. They participated in. Yeah, they participated in October.
How can we be in the UN and them trying to tell Israel how illegal they've been when they're actually a part of the attack?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
It's hard to believe, but and not only that, Trump also put sanctions on the ICC. I don't know if that's on your list.
Yeah, but no, it's not. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the International Criminal Court in The Hague, which is a joke, they put an arrest warrant out for a Western democracy. They put an arrest warrant out for Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, who was at the time the Minister of Defense. And so, which is absurd. And of course, the United States opposed it, but Biden didn't do anything. And Trump comes in and he says, this is ridiculous. And he imposed sanctions, and anyone involved in that decision cannot travel to the United States. Sure. And maybe there are some other restrictions on them, but you got to put teeth behind it. And he did. What he's done in his first few weeks of office.
I don't want to say we have a president now. We have a guy that we've never seen before in this country. Yeah, that's Donald J. Trump. I mean, so the stuff that he's learned over the years, especially the first term, and what he knows now, and the people he's getting in just now. Oh my God! It's Al Green. Speaking of that, Al Green, a congressman from Texas, no less. He wants to bring articles of impeachment for Trump for his stance for Gaza rebuild and his support of Israel. How's that?
Yeah, well, these guys don't learn the lessons of history.
Yeah,
when you oppose Israel, when you oppose morality, when you oppose goodness, you might have temporary victories, but in the long run, you're going to be in the dust bin of history. And Al Green will be just another name that we'll remember.
You know what? I think we need to mitigate all the death and all the hatred that comes our way, and we got to get more active in that. And here I am. I'm not fighting the war. Your family's fighting the war. But you got to stop it before it gets out of hand. And even if other people hate you, you got to take a risk because Iran. Look at what you did to Iran. Oh my God! Nobody thought you could beat Iran, and you basically have put them down. They're not going to attack you for a while. Okay, they have no people left to do that. So you as that little country did that. So I think there's if God's in this, God created that, and God wants you to succeed. So I don't understand where you guys should back off every time a mullah blows his nose.
Oh, you know what? We've changed the whole landscape. You know, you're right about Iran. Look at what happened in Lebanon, Syria. You know, the whole landscape has changed. And did you see the gift that Bibi gave to Trump?
No.
He gave him a golden beeper. Yeah, look it up. You can see the picture. It's like this beeper, golden beeper on like a thing of olive wood.
What he should have
That's
done
what he gave
is say,
him.
look, here, take this. I got to leave the room. So if you get a call, you can answer it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I did that once to a Palestinian when I was in my about 21 years old. I was an 22 years old. I was an insurance agent then, and I went in to sell a Palestinian business guy some insurance.
Yeah.
And at the time, they were sending these envelopes to Jews that when you open them up, they'd blow up. All right. And so I put all this junky paper into an envelope, and it was very bumpy. And I handed it to him. I says, "Don't open this. I got to go somewhere for a minute or two. I'll be right back." He knew exactly what it was. He almost ended up on the floor. He was laughing so hard.
All right.
Anyway,
I sent it to your Facebook, and I'll just send it to JP if you want to see the picture of the golden beeper.
Oh, definitely. If you want to get that on there, sure.
Is JP there?
While we're doing that, there's still plenty of problem with the Democrats doubling and tripling down on anti-Semitism, and it's at school.
Yeah.
Are you in a hurry?
No. I just someone. Yeah, I got a couple minutes. Yeah.
All right, good. Because now it's getting lighter out. Oh, there it is. There we got it.
Yeah. See, it's a golden beeper on a piece of olive wood. That was the gift. It says on it to President Donald J. Trump, our greatest friend and greatest ally, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I love.
Maybe I'll get you one, but I'll see if I can get Netanyahu to get one for you, Dave.
Oh yeah. Just have him. Yeah, just have him.
Have him whip up another one.
Drop off. You can stay the night, like you do. And so, would you like that, honey? Bibi Netanyahu.
A little beeper.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to make it kosher.
Yeah, we can make it kosher. He's more kosher than the rabbi's more kosher than Netanyahu. I can guarantee.
Yeah, he's not as strict as I am, so he'll be an easier guest.
An easier guest, yes.
Just don't give him any chauffeurs.
No chauffeurs. Okay, I won't drive him anywhere.
Okay.
We'll put Gracie in charge of the chauffeurs, and there'll be no problem, right? All right.
Sounds good.
So the New York Post, Trump may actually succeed uniting Arabs and Jews to rebuild Gaza and join the Abraham Accord. Now, I don't think it's going to get done like Trump thinks, but where the hell are these people going to go anywhere? Anyways, it's unlivable. Gaza is unlivable as it is right now.
Yeah, completely.
So it makes sense that they get the hell out of there and go somewhere else while the United States rebuilds it with the money of Saudi Arabia and whoever else wants to contribute.
Right. Last week, they allowed the Gazans to return to northern Gaza, but they got there and there was nothing to return to, so they all went back south. Right.
And they have only themselves to blame for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God! If there's life after death, where does God put all the golf courses? Because I can't imagine dying and not being able to play golf.
Well, maybe there's a lot more room there.
Well, okay. Thanks for the answer. That's why I love the ride.
All right. I got to run.
.net, where can people go and buy your book? By the way, what is that book?
Oh, yeah. They can go to, it's right on your screen there, secrets@HebrewBible.org, or they can go to our website, IsraelAlliance.org, or Facebook.com/Israel Alliance.
Okay, so what do you call a man who destroys songs?
I give up.
A decomposer. JJ. Do you have time for one question from him?
Actually, they said that's what Beethoven is doing now. He's decomposing.
Yeah, okay.
That's an old one.
Twist my joke, because I had no idea about that. That's why that I didn't really come up with that. He steals my jokes when he performs. He's a stand-up comic.
He's really good at groaner jokes, and so are you.
Well, so am I. Okay, I write them though. Yeah. He just steals them. No, he writes his own stuff.
I do have a question.
Yeah, make it quick because of the.
How long is it going to be in days until Hamas breaks the ceasefire? It's got to be happening.
Oh, it's happening now, I'm sure.
I think. Well, we're getting when the first phase of the ceasefire ends. I think that will probably be signal, unfortunately, a return to war. But hopefully we'll get the first 33 hostages back as part of stage one. And then I can't imagine that it's going to hold after that, but who knows?
Yeah. What happens when they start delivering dead Israelis and dead Americans?
Yeah. I mean, that could happen. Who knows? Maybe even tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we'll
ain't
see.
Gonna be happy.
Nope. Definitely not.
All right. Well, you have a great Sabbath, and Shabbat Shalom, my friend. Hi to Yonit and the kids.
You got it. And, all right, guys.
Keep up the good work. And,
thank you very much.
See you hopefully next week.
Okay. Fantastic.
All right.
All the best,
Rabbi
everybody.
Moshe Rothschild, all the way from Israel. What?
What'd you say about next week?
Why? What, next week? Aren't we going to be on the show?
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he was coming here.
Well, he might. I don't know. Maybe we need to play that clip.
He's got a trip scheduled sometime.
Oh, give me
yeah, that clip that we have. You got to listen to this clip. You'll love it. Yeah, he's going to set it up. And what did you think of the rabbi?
I love the rabbi.
Isn't he good?
Always listen to the rabbi.
Yeah. He's something else. And I met him through Pastor Pat.
Yeah, I know.
Can you believe that?
Remember, we have a history, so I know.
Were you there that day?
No.
When he first came in?
Not the first time.
Yeah, all right. All right, we're going to listen to this guy because he's a smart guy. What's his name? Brandon?
Branyan. Something John Branyan?
Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, I think. All right. So he's messing with it, and
hopefully I got it.
Well, let's hear it.
Hopefully it's in the right spot. So.
Family is another proof that God has a sense of humor. I think marriage had to be a joke.
There it is.
Had to be. The whole idea of marriage it had to be a joke. Man and woman. Imagine God saying to the angels, "Hey, come here, look at this, what I did." It's a man and a woman, and put them down there. Two entirely different creatures, different sensibilities, different ways of processing things, emotional levels. They're not alike in any way, and I'm going to make them spend the rest of their lives together. It's going to be awesome. He started with man first. You know the story? He made man first, and then he took a rib from that man and made woman. And clearly that was the rib that we used to use to read minds.
Okay. Did you like that? Let me know. Send a message or call me at 573-578-2700. And in about 5 minutes, we're going to be talking straight to J.J. Bradshaw.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy, but also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor, and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper. Fresh savings every day. Acar Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have. Gotta reach 'em, see it right now. Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we've got all the perks of a national bank, like online banking, quick loan approval, and you can deposit your check from your phone. But that's not why our customers love us. They love us because we still offer hometown customer service. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly team remind you how special hometown banking can be. We're locally owned and will take the time to understand your needs. Smart, friendly solutions. Town and Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you a man who's 256 years old. He needed no help getting into his chair. He hasn't spilled his coffee or anything like that. But this man is 256 years old, and he goes back to the revolutionary times. He was friends with Ben Franklin and George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, where they used to go to the only bar in Virginia, Ye Old Tavern, and pick up, well, they used to pick up pioneer women. So here he is, ladies and gentlemen, with, you got to put this on. Uh-oh. See now, all right, now we got it. I forgot all about the fact that you would be here. And so this is JJ's Justice Report. JJ, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show once again. And what were you going to talk about a little earlier?
Oh, Dave, there's a bunch of stuff.
Let's bring it up.
Let's start with USAID, United States Agency for International.
Yeah, what is that exactly?
I'm fixing to tell you.
Good.
That beast was created in 1961.
Yeah.
And the intention of the legislation that created that was to help developing countries develop as democracies or representative republics. If you look at what it is today, or what it was until a couple of days ago, this thing has turned into a monster. Let me give you the background. If you remember, in the early 1970s through the mid-1970s, the CIA was investigated by Congress.
Yeah.
You recall that? There were congressional hearings that attempted to look up the skirt of the CIA and see what sort of illicit activities they were performing. So the CIA went more covert. Hey, guys, we can't do these black bag stuff anymore because there's too many congressmen and other investigators looking at it.
Yeah.
So what do you say we take over USAID? And they did.
Uh-huh.
USAID was, like I said, was intended to develop representative republics all over the world.
Yeah.
And spread democracy.
And one thing you got to remember is that the CIA, they're not elected. Nobody voted for these guys to be in. They're completely independent of the government.
And much of their money is off the books.
Yeah.
USAID is much off the books as well. So if you look at the good things that these folks have done, they do distribute vaccines to underdeveloped countries. They do distribute some food. They help with drilling wells. That's the good side. The bad side is pretty dark. They have been used, at least in the Obama and Biden administrations, as propaganda arms. How did they do that? I got some numbers for you. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
USAID has contributed to Politico since 2015, $35,018,269.
Yeah.
Dow Jones. Well, you think of Dow Jones as the industrial average, right? The stock average. Dow Jones has some other arms too, and part of those involves broadcasting. They gave Dow Jones about $4 million in the last 15 years or so. Associated Press, our supposedly independent news organization, $50 million over the last 12 years. New York Times, $3,107,520. This is money transferred. Now, this is your tax money, Dave, that is being transferred to these organizations towards what end? Propaganda.
Propaganda and election denial.
And censorship of
and wait,
conservatives.
it goes deeper because, as you recall, John F. Kennedy was murdered in 1963. Martin Luther King, 1968, and right around there, Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah.
And we're wondering, they got the papers on this now.
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be amazing because everybody thought, oh, well, it was just that Harvey what's his name? Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, he was a part of it, apparently. But the CIA was knee deep into all of those.
Yes, that's correct. And it's going to be shown.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
sure a lot of the evidence has been swept under the table. But back
Well,
to USAID.
yeah, go ahead.
If you look at the things that George Soros has funded over the last couple of decades, and you look at what USAID has done over at least the last decade, the two are parallel with each other.
Yeah.
They're in sync, lockstep, if you will. So Soros, of course, has influence all over our government. He got his fingers in USAID and kind of peeled them off towards leftist causes.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me about this is USAID has gone from how many employees? About 15,000, I think, to 240 in a matter of 2 days. Furloughed all of those folks. Trump and company said goodbye, don't come back. And that has been absorbed into a wing of the State Department. Good. What I hope happens, and I expect Trump is headed in this direction.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of forensic accountants are going to be hired.
Sure.
With the mandate to get in here and find out where the money went. This has been a Democrat slush fund, at least during Biden's term, and I suspect during the Obama years.
Probably
as well.
about 60 years, roughly.
Or more. Yeah. Could be.
Sure. 60 years they've been taking money from these guys.
Of course.
From us, the taxpayers.
Yes, these are taxpayers' money and ultimately used to fund leftist causes.
Sure.
DEI, for instance, comes to mind. That's in the headlines today.
Yeah.
There was an awful lot of USAID money spent in various places around the world to promote DEI. When you look at this thing, though, if you consider some of the African countries that are relatively conservative countries, they don't have an awful lot. They're trying to keep food on the table, maybe get some clean water. And you have these morons dancing in there saying, hey, let's talk about queer stuff. Let's make a comic book of homosexuality.
Right.
Doesn't fly too well with those countries. And I think this has come to an end. And I think over the next few months, we're going to see an awful lot of evidence come about.
Yeah, and it's not just the United States they're bribing leaders in. It's places like Africa.
All over the world.
They're giving money to these dictators there to sort of control them and get them to play the game.
And U.S. money being funding terrorism?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Sure.
We're a country sworn against terrorism. We're supposed to fight it tooth and nail every chance we get. And here an arm of our government, an official arm of our government, by the way, is handing out money to terrorists.
Yeah, and Tulsi Gabbard, in her examination by the Senate, talked about Bush, actually, and Obama giving money to terrorists.
Yes. Now, there's the Wuhan lab as well. Part of USAID.
That's $40 million right to
through a third party, of course.
Yeah, $40 million.
Yeah.
The plan for us to die.
For us, our demise, yeah. And the demise of countries all over this world.
Yes.
So this is a pretty nasty organization. It's been a Democrat slush fund. It's been a way for them to take clean money and turn it into dirty money and stick it here and there.
Yeah. This is why they know they've got to do something now.
Well, yeah.
This is why they're desperate.
Absolutely, Dave. Would you, as a reasonable human being, allow this to continue? Of course not.
Well, as a reasonable human being, I won't. But these aren't reasonable human beings. Their minds, I don't understand how their minds work.
Yeah, but Trump is shutting this stuff down.
It's amazing.
Right and left.
It's amazing.
And I love to see it. Love to see it.
Me too.
So Soros organization has taken a hit as a result of this. Politico, that's the one that jumped out at me, $35 million.
Yeah.
Politico's been a left-leaning organization for a long time, who claims that they are a legitimate news agency.
AP, I bet AMP or AP,
Associated
I bet you
Press.
they're the same. They get money.
Yeah, New York Times. The list is long. It just happens to be some egregious numbers that I found.
Al Jazeera, I'm sure
Al
they're.
Jazeera, yep.
Sure.
So we have been funding our enemies, what it amounts to, for decades.
Yeah.
And that has come to a halt. Now, is the CIA going to stick their tentacles in someplace else? We'll see.
You got a tough guy on there. You got a tough guy who's running it now, Radcliffe.
2 days ago, the CIA, their entire workforce was offered buyouts.
Good.
The entire
Absolutely
CIA workforce.
Necessary, and you got a guy who's voted in with a very good. I mean, he was the head of national intelligence. Like,
talk about John Ratcliffe.
Yeah, like Gabby or what's her name now? Tulsi Gabbard is in charge of the whole intel thing, and they're going after this. And Bondi, she's already got the list of the Epstein.
Well, she's got a list of every FBI agent that participated in January 6th.
That's right.
So
this is coming down. They know it.
You're going to see this administration cut the head off of these lettered agencies.
Yeah.
And good, I think. I sincerely hope that they promote from within down far enough in the ranks where the politicization has not occurred and promote those folks on up.
Well, promote the whistleblowers too, and reimburse those in the 1-6 gulags in D.C. and punish not just the people that brought the charges, but the judges who went along with it.
The judges really are pivotal in this thing.
I mean, I know I risk myself. Somebody's going to take me to court someday, and it's it's not good to criticize judges. But damn it, you can't do that to America. You can't do it to American people. That suddenly you're going to be paid off to do something.
Well, FBI prosecutors prosecuted what amounts to misdemeanor criminal trespass as serious felony.
Yeah.
And the law that they used was aimed at Enron, for Pete's sake, way back when. It was perverted. And the judges that went along with this need to be removed.
And on one end of the area, the cops are letting them in the building. They are guiding. They're like, oh yeah, that's over there. The Senate, oh sure, that's over there.
Escorting.
I mean, give me a break. That no wonder Trump went in and just cleaned the clock of that situation.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
time.
that's a sign that America is saved.
Well, you and I watch this stuff all the time because we're interested in it.
Well, who isn't?
We've been watching. Well, the man on the street
and
probably
we don't get paid off for it. This is for us. This is
love. Bribed?
No, I wish.
Nobody
bribes me.
Let me introduce you to a guy. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Thank God I don't need a bribe.
Nah.
And even when I could need a bribe, I wouldn't take one for that ever.
Yeah, you don't.
I've had that
money.
offered to me when I was running McDonald's co-ops.
Mm-hmm.
They'd take me aside and say, "We want you to do this." And I knew that could mean stores.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not doing that."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Well, why not?" I said, "Because I was elected to run an honest co-op.
Yes.
If you got the wrong guy, leave it alone." Oh, all right.
Hello, Joe.
All right. Here we're gonna hold up for just a second. We're gonna put on the phone Joel Dalton. It's no surprise. Hi, Joe. I'm here with Lisa and JP and JJ.
Wow. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
Well, I act surprised. I've been watching anyway, so I knew you were.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Enjoying the program.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't back to you last night, but I was already trying to sleep anyways.
No, it's all right.
It's all right. So, what can I do for you?
Well, I just had this notion I wanted to contribute. All this money that from USAID.
Yeah, you got tons of that, don't you?
We're waiting for the list, right? We're waiting to know.
It's in the mail. Don't worry about it. It's in the mail. It's a U.S. mail. Wait a minute. U.S. mail? Oh, well, that's gone too.
Yeah, good luck.
So no, what my point was, those congressmen and senators that are outside screaming into the microphones are so upset about this.
God.
Not one of them were pardoned by Joe Biden. The people that were pardoned weren't yelling. So it's like these guys are waiting for themselves to get thrown in jail.
They know what they know.
Yeah,
they know it now. I mean, there's nobody to protect them. There's no Merrick Garland. There's no Gray. What is his name? The guy, the last FBI guy.
Yeah.
There's no. He's not around. There's nobody. There's nobody there. And the crazy the crazy person that was at HHS, remember who was in charge of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had a nice skirt and talked like a man. Okay. Sorry, but okay, that's what she was. She's a transgender. Very proud of it. And DEI is now dying.
It's gone.
Because of leadership like that. Okay. So go ahead.
Well, but I was also going to point out that there was through the Biden administration, $607 million went to other countries, primarily third world countries, to promote abortion and provide abortions. So that's all gone, which is great.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to me that we're spending so much money and giving it to these abortion people. It's like, come on, you know?
Yeah. Well, tell them about, let's play the baby thing for, I don't know if you ever heard the baby thing, the live baby in a womb.
Yeah. The French guy?
JJ. Yeah. No, he wasn't French. He was Brazilian. Brazilian. Yes.
Oh,
and he's worth a Brazilian now because of that.
Wow.
Okay. How much is a Brazilian anyways? Do you know that?
I don't know.
JJ, do you know how much a Brazilian is?
You have to.
What are we going to do? Buy one? We're going to rent it, lease it? What?
Yeah, jeez. I don't go that far into it.
Well,
Brazilian.
You got to be
How
specific.
much is a Brazilian? Oh man! All right, listen up. Listen up.
That's another.
Hold on. Quiet. All you guys, quiet. Here you go. Oh, you're going to share the screen. Okay, he's sharing the screen. He is screen sharing. You know, I just told him to do this, so it takes a little bit to do this. Now he's got it, I think.
Where I can actually get a full screen here, so we can actually see it.
I have seen that clip.
Look at her. She's so cute. Who does her hair? It's that's amazing.
Who does her hair?
Yeah, the same person does yours.
Yeah.
Only he forgot a few side locks.
Yeah, he only works on ugly.
Yeah, no, not in my case.
Yeah.
At least, you know.
Wow.
Dang, this is getting to be. I
You
think he's
guys
a
are
friend.
rough, man.
He's a friend. I don't know. You're a friend too. We give each other crap. So what the hell? Anyways,
So the main reason I called was to tell you guys about the Banquet for Life coming up.
oh, you got a banquet coming up?
Yes, it's March 6th. It's going to be at the Havener Center on the campus of Missouri S&T, 6:30 p.m. I want you all to come to the event.
Yeah.
I've got JJ and his beautiful bride have signed up to be at your table.
Right.
So David Lee set up a table. JJ is already sitting there. And I don't know if JP's coming or not, but anybody.
He's going to be out of state.
Bill Hardwick's at your table.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of room, even if we go over his table size.
Yeah.
You'll be at the table right next to Dave.
Well,
Weinbaum.
yeah. Give me a call,
So-
573-578-2700. And you can get to my table or a table close to me. And we'll do the banquet. Who's the talent? Besides you and Jane, of course.
She's a comedian. She's also an actress. She was on not Dave Letterman, Jay Leno like a dozen times. She was,
Oh, really?
She was in a soap opera at one point. She did a couple of those TV movies, you know, one of those sappy ones, Hallmark Channel movies. Yeah, she was in a couple of those. So, but she's a great comedian, and
Good.
she's got a very powerful pro-life story. Her daughter has Down syndrome, and they were told her she would, you should abort. Really pressured her to abort, and her beautiful daughter will be there with her. She's just an amazing shiny penny, this
Great.
young lady. So
Great. All righty
anyway,
then.
So if you go to supportmyprc.com, you could also just click on the banquet link and sign up right there. Or you could call our office, which is 573-368 5700.
So it's supportmyprc.com, all in small letters.
Yeah.
And for those of you in Branson, support has 2 P's.
Yep.
Okay.
It does. So
on
you can
YouTube,
put it up
JJ.
on
I'm
the,
sorry, I didn't mean
on the thing there.
insult you like that.
Appreciate you guys' support. I mean, it's a free event. There's no charge to come, but
it is my pleasure, and love you guys, and hopefully we have a great. It's March the 6th, right?
Yeah,
we're thinking about doing a show on Thursday that day, right? Yeah. So I'm telling you early, guys. We're thinking about doing it early because JP has to go out of town. So we'll let you know. Anyways, thank you so much, Joe, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, God bless you guys.
Yeah, have a great weekend. All right. And are you going to hang out or what?
I'll hang out for a little while.
You can hang out for as long as you want to.
You up against a commercial break? Because I got one more for you.
Go ahead.
All right. Do you you watch TV quite a bit? Did you see
too much? But I do.
Did you see Maxine Waters'
4-minute
meltdown the other day? That was enormously
holding hands with Schumer.
She's nuts.
Well, of course she's nuts.
She's nuts.
She's nuts enough to be worth about $6-7 million bucks.
Yeah, and she was
how nutty are these people? There's a difference between nuts and corruption. Okay.
What was so good about that clip was she was so close to foaming at the mouth. She was having a serious mental meltdown.
Yeah.
It was enormous.
For her, that could have been an orgasm. She's 83 years old.
You think so? No, I'm not. I don't think.
Well, I think that she gets off on things like that.
Nobody wants to have sex.
We're going to come. We're going to come for your MAGAs. No. We're going to come to you, and I'm quoting her here. We're going to go to restaurants you eat into, your offices, and we're going to get into your face.
Come on.
Okay.
Bring
she
it on.
said that. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Yeah, and remember Laura Loomer? She chased her down.
Yes, that was great.
She chased her down into an elevator. She ran like a little kitten.
I got one more.
Yes, go ahead.
CBS News.
Yes.
Donald Trump sued CBS News.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, go ahead.
And CBS News 2 days ago released the entirety of the unedited videotapes of Kamala Harris being interviewed. The thing ran about an hour and 10, and it was a 3-camera view.
Uh-huh.
And what was so good about this thing was the following. When asked a question, Kamala spit out these unintelligible word salads.
Yeah.
These answers that had no sense.
Right.
At the very end of this thing, they showed the edited version of this.
Yeah.
That 60 Minutes aired. She was being interviewed by Whitaker, and what she said was almost sensible.
Yeah.
So you've got this unedited stuff, which is just blah, stupid falling out of her mouth, and the edited version of this thing, which was almost coherent. Almost.
Yeah.
My thoughts on that are the following. By the way, the link is available through Breitbart. It's also on YouTube.
Okay, that's important. Breitbart or YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I look for this thing, and I'm saying I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what the big deal is.
Oh, it is.
They didn't show me everything. It was about a minute clip.
Oh no,
they didn't show me the stuff that you're talking about.
This an hour and 10 minutes.
So this is all new stuff. You ought to look at it.
Recently released, and it told me that CBS committed a serious legal problem when they did that.
Right.
Now CBS has come back. They're editors of 60 Minutes and said, we always edit stuff for clarity. No, this was edited to make a complete babbling idiot look like somebody that might have some coherent thought falling out of it.
Yeah, and this is election interference right there,
and it's fraud.
It's fraud, and I think it's a federal law, and I think he's suing under a federal law. And I don't know if there's other ways to sue except for privately.
He's
and
also
for damages.
Petitioned the FCC.
Yeah.
To look into this thing, and perhaps pull their license. Now that'll never happen.
Or sell that to Elon Musk.
Or something.
What's the deal with Elon Musk? All of a sudden, he's Hitler.
No, the guy is doing the right things.
Yeah, he's finding the stolen money. Everybody's worried about the economy. Everybody in this country. Joe Biden said he's worried about the economy. We got to bring it back, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's finding the money that's keeping us from having a good economy. He's finding the waste. Why are you pissed off at him? He's doing what he's assigned to do.
You're pissed off at him because you took some money and you're trying to hide it.
There you go.
That's why there's so much outrage.
Don't point your finger at me. It ain't me doing it.
Not you. No, just take that back.
Okay.
No, he's him and his cronies are finding serious flaws in the way money is distributed in this country.
Exactly.
And those that are squawking the loudest are those that benefited from that money.
And these are people who have been doing this for, well, if you could say that, well, it's over a couple of administrations, I believe it goes back probably to the 1960s.
47 years for Joe Biden.
Yeah, exactly. And he was corrupt all the way through.
Yeah,
we know for almost for sure. Well, we know because of the evidence in the Hunter laptop, which 51 CIA and other leaders of the intel world said was a Russian hoax.
Did you notice all 51 lost their security clearances?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
I predicted that a year ago on your show.
You know what? They lost all their, like the General Milley, they lost their protection.
Yeah, Brennan lost his too.
Yeah.
Good. You know, you folks have made bazillion dollars off of the United States government.
You made us scared and miserable because you said you were coming after us.
You can provide your own damn security.
Yeah.
I love it.
Start
Dave.
building those jails in Gitmo. Come on.
I love the way
they're
this
going
thing
to
is
do.
turned.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to do this test if they get the power. Just remember that.
Well,
there's no doubt about it. They will get, and eventually there will be a time when they probably make a comeback.
Maybe not.
Well,
maybe not.
I don't know.
I think by the time that the Trump administration is done, and maybe 8 years of J.D. Vance, we will have shown the world how corrupt that entire party is. When you have somebody like James Carville, who is as far left as they go, criticizing his own party, saying, you people are doing stupid things, stupid things, stop doing that. We're going to show these folks up as the corrupt morons that they are. I don't think they have a chance.
Well, I would agree, except that time changes everything. And you never know. We could get a corrupt president after Trump and do some bad stuff, or we can get some kind of a rhino in there, like we've had over the years. I guess Bush was a rhino. I didn't know that when he was in office.
At what point does the revolution start, Dave?
Well, I think it's starting right now.
I think
this is their last chance to do something, but I don't think they got the numbers.
This is not a shot fired so far. Revolution.
Yeah.
The Trump revolution is what they're going to. What I'm going to call it anyway. And you watch the investigation now.
Look,
congressional investigations are a pretty loser affair. Okay.
Yeah.
But criminal investigations through DOJ, who has a stellar leader, I think we're going to show these folks up to be the corrupt bozos that they are.
You go back to the Revolutionary War. You're that old. Okay.
Yeah. Benedict Arnold. We hung him.
And but look at the situation back there. So the United States became colonies under Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Britain was supporting them. Britain ran into some difficulties in terms of money.
Yeah, they were
so
going
they
broke.
started to tax them,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a huge tax. It wasn't that big of a deal. But certain people felt that this is unconscionable in the colonies. So they had the Tea Party and all this, and they said you can't tax us like this. We won't like it. And so Britain, I don't think they understood what the hell they were talking about. What's wrong with these people? All right, but they started to realize that these people were serious. The government of George Washington, who by the way was also convicted by the British for being a traitor. I mean, they all called him a traitor. I don't know that he had an actual trial, but they all called him a traitor, and he was definitely being shot at. But it didn't seem like that was a huge problem. We got much more huge problems these days.
You know what the tipping point of that revolution was? It's always talked about the Boston Tea Party, throwing the tea into Boston Harbor.
What was it?
The thing that really tipped it was the housing of British troops in private residences. That really rubbed us
And you were
wrong.
there because they kicked you out personally and your parents. They kicked you and your parents out in 1777? 74. Yeah, okay.
It was George Washington derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
It's what it actually amounts to.
So no wonder you have such resentment
But
towards the British.
The point, though, that the Boston Tea Party, much is made of it because it was an outrageous thing to do.
Yeah.
But the housing of British troops in private residences really rubbed us
Well, and that's
wrong.
in the Constitution now.
It
isn't
is indeed. Yes.
Yes.
You know how that ended up as an amendment? Because of that.
And were you the one that brought up the amendment?
No, not at all. I was sitting in the ye old tavern with a couple of chicks.
You were out there messing around.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. All right, so I think we're going to end this segment, and I appreciate you coming in, and you are a good friend.
Always
And,
a pleasure, Dave.
Hi to the wife, and we'll see you on March the 6th for sure.
You will
And next Friday.
You'll see me next Friday.
Great. So I've already got a guest for next Friday. That's always a big achievement. I can always count on this guy.
If I don't show up, you can bet I'm dead.
Yeah, well, don't say that. I hate saying that. You're going to make me sad now. All right, my friend. Let's hear it for J.J. Bradshaw.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we're going to do some commercials. So buy where these people sell, and call me if you want to get on the show as a sponsor. I could use you, and you could use me. My numbers are getting crazy good. All right, call 573-578-2700. Hit it.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word? But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. Acar Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the #1 sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Maybe it's for a kitchen you've always wanted. Maybe it's just to have a little extra room. Whatever the reason you're considering a new home loan, it's good to know that Town & Country Bank will guide you in the right direction. Our experienced local lenders are here to help you with a new home construction, remodeling projects, and fixed and adjustable rate home loans. You can even start the process online by clicking Online Mortgage Center at tcbanks.com. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, we're back, and I think we haven't done anything funny, have we? Let's do the, well, I think some of the things were funny. It just wasn't planned that way. Okay.
Sure,
Let's.
we'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. I thought the marriage guy, the marriage joke was really funny.
I thought it was. I don't know how the females felt about it, but
Let me know. I'm open. Was putting a man and a woman together possibly a joke from God? I've always wondered, is there laugh after death? In fact, that's one of my quotes, and a guy who was doing stand-up comedy along with me, I actually was the maitre d' of this show. I introduced him. He actually looked after I told him that. He says, "Hey, I'm writing a book. I'll pay you $100 for that." he gave me $100 for the quote. I probably shouldn't even say it, but if I never remembered his name, I'd say it because he owns it now.
Yeah.
Patricia Odin Maxwell, looking good, sounding good. Go team! Kathy Sanford Dillon, good morning and happy Friday of everyone. Have a blessed weekend. And we got MD Tayeb Ali. Hello, sir. Shalom or salam. I am come back after 1 month and 8 days later because somebody sent me in prison for supporter and a volunteer honorable President Donald J. Trump. So I want justice from your voice to President Donald Trump as an from your of America. As a supporter, that my fault? So why they send me in prison? They hit me about 3 hours in Dala Bailey Road, Bangladesh. So I lost 1 month and some days. I have lost my job without cause. Now I am helpless with my family. Don't know about, and sir, you know me better. I think so. So please send my speech to the Honorable President Donald J. Trump as your son. Okay. So please help me.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that because you know what?
We don't have a connection to this.
I always call the guy. He never returns my calls. In fact, I think I got something of his right here, don't I? I got to look for that though. Oh, here it is. I think. Yeah. Here we go. Here. There you go.
Look, I'm really rich. I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. I swear.
That's the one thing we got in common is I don't wear a toupee. All right, Owen McNamee, good morning. I can't do anything. I don't know. This guy's serious or what? I don't know Donald Trump. I actually talked to him once, or talked to him over a bunch of people at a CPAC gathering back in 2013. I think it was 2013, and you know, I have had no conversations with him. Owen McNamee, good morning, Patriots. What a great guy Owen is, and a great patriot. He always helps with my shout outs on X and Facebook to get people to listen to the show. He's great. Patricia Odin Maxwell, the official pastor to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Great info. Thank you, Rabbi Moshe, and thank you, Pat. And Pat, I want to get you to the festival here for the Pregnancy Resource Center. So give me a call and see if you can make it. I've got a few left, I think, at the table. Roy Maddox, Bradshaw in the studio. Good morning from Oklahoma. I'm glad you were impressed, Roy. Thanks for the good info, JJ. Great job. And do we have any more?
That's it.
All right, that's plenty. Like I say, you want to call the show, 573-578-2700, or...
you can also reach us by commenting on Facebook, X, YouTube, and on Rumble.
Okay, let's do Seinfeld.
I jumped on the bus. I told the driver, I got a tow here, buddy. Step on it. Holy cow. Yeah. Then, all of a sudden, this guy pulls out a gun. Well, I knew any delay is going to cost her her pinky toe. So I got out of the seat and I started walking towards him. He says, where do you think you're going, Cracker Jack? I says, well, I got a little prize for you, buddy. Yeah! Knocked him out cold. How could you do that? Yeah, then everybody is screaming because the driver, he's passed out because of all the commotion. The bus is out of control. So I grab him by the collar. I take him out of the seat. I get behind the wheel. Now I'm driving the bus.
You're Batman.
Yeah, I am Batman. Then the mugger, he comes to and he starts choking me. So I'm fighting him off with one hand, and I kept driving the bus with the other, you know. Then I managed to open up the door, and I kicked him out the door, you know, with my foot, you know, at the next stop. You kept making all the stops? Well, people kept ringing the bell.
But instead of conceding that the president has a point on raising standards for people who help fly our planes, all the liberal media wants to do is attack.
When you talk about DEI and Trump, it means despicable, enraging
idiocy. He does 3 minutes of let's pause in silence, and then let's blame the blacks, let's blame the disabled.
You know, that's what diversity is. And that is what the president said, that black, brown people, women, and people with disabilities caused this crash.
What he is saying is that the only people who are competent to run anything in this country are white men.
His instinct is never to bring people together, but even in some stunning fashion, try to blame others.
The claim that when he talks about DEI and lower standards, their interpretation is that what he's saying is that only white people are competent. Are they stupid? Do they not know what DEI is about?
They know, but they can't admit it because it was their idea. The politicians demanded that Reagan add all these extra flights to this airport because they all need to get home to their districts to have 3- and 4-day weekends. But the politicians didn't staff Reagan. Reagan wasn't staffed. It's the busiest runway in the country, and they don't have enough people. But they have enough people at the Department of Veterans Affairs where they're having orgies. They have 60 DEI employees at the VA, but they don't have enough at a control tower at Reagan, the busiest runway. They could have had enough, but Biden wouldn't let white guys in. According to a lawsuit, 1,000 white guys who had perfect scores. One guy had 100% on the entrance exam to be an air traffic controller. Biden said no. That's still in litigation.
I remember the story of the fella here a while ago who was running for Congress as a Republican. He stopped by a farm to do some campaigning, and when the farmer heard he was a Republican, his jaw dropped, and he said, "Wait right here." He said, "While I get Ma. She's never seen a Republican before." So he got Ma, and the candidate looked around for a podium to give his speech from. The only thing he could find was a pile of that stuff that Best Truman took 35 years trying to get Harry to call fertilizer. So he got up on the mound, and when they came back, he gave his speech. End of it, the farmer says, "That's the first time I've ever heard a Republican speech." Candidate said, "That's the first time I've ever given a Republican speech from a Democratic platform."
All right, are we back? Yep. All right, in a couple minutes, we're going to be talking with Chris Adamo, the expert on socialism and the author of
Rules for Defeating Radicals.
Rules for Defeating Radicals. Who thinks DEI is in and of itself racist, or does it stop racism? I mean, if I'm correct, the whole NBA is backwards because they have about 80% roughly blacks, and the others, whites, they've got about maybe 20%. I forget what it is. Jews, I think they got 3. I mean, so if they went by the FDI or FEI, is it FEI or DEI? DEI, they would be considered to be horrible racists. But who wants to watch a team with me at the center? I mean, I would bite legs like crazy, and I wouldn't back down from confrontations. But I know, and I knew way back when a black guy who wasn't that tall jumped up, and his foot was above my head. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to compete in this game very well. I mean, I still played and all. I'd get in the way of people. You know, I'd set screens and I'd throw good passes. But for me to get a good shot in without it being blocked was almost impossible, you know? So I wasn't effective there. I actually was effective in football. But even there, I was outweighed, and I was the slowest guy in the team. But I figured out how to compete there. I don't know that you can do that in sports that are necessarily dominated by a certain race or not. I wouldn't want to see DEI imposed on any sports team. In baseball, blacks only have 6% in baseball. The rest are considered. A lot of them are considered to be Latinos. Actually, a lot of them are dark, but it's not. They're considered Latinos and not the other stuff. And we have our next guest here. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, conservative patriot, author of
Rule for Defeating Radicals.
He's an expert on socialism and communism. Sends Christmas cards to Liz Cheney, the only Italian who moved to Wyoming just for the pizza. Believe it or not, he's the only Italian guy moves to Wyoming, but he said the pizza's good. Yeah, sure. Okay, Chris Adamo.
Good morning. Now, I have to refute a statement there. If I was the only Italian to move to Wyoming, who would be making pizza?
Some schmuck from Hungary. How do I know?
He's from Palermo, Sicily, my grandfather's hometown. It's Mondello's Pizza in Cheyenne, Wyoming, the best pizza you'll ever have.
I know. So why Wyoming? You know that is.
Well, I was born in Wyoming.
Of all the Italians in the witness protection program, right there in Wyoming, because nobody's looking for him there. Am I wrong?
You just disqualified yourself for Elon Musk's DOGE committee. You know, you say anything that somebody thinks could be racist, and boy, we're going to get you out of there. Have you heard about that?
Wait a minute. He's the guy that stuck his hand up like this. Remember that?
Yeah. No, my favorite one. My favorite one was when he did this.
Well, let's talk about that then. This is the last thing I want to ask you anyways, and I'll never get a word in edgewise anyhow. Who thinks DEI is racist or stops racism?
It is absolutely racism. It is absolutely the epitome of discriminatory hiring and firing, and it's deliberately from the start anti-white. The idea is we have too many white people in there, and you hear this from leftists, and it's real. This is real bigotry. Well, that committee is too white. Can you imagine me and you saying that basketball team is too black? But
I'm sure it's been said by people, and you know what? For me, I'm a fan. Okay, I have loved basketball since I was 6 years old. It is my favorite sport to watch. I mean, I can go out there and announce a game. I can go out in football and announce a game. In fact, I took on Brady when he was announcing a game in the playoffs, and every time I would say something, a minute or two later, Brady would say the same thing using the same words. Okay, that's pretty good stuff. All right, but in terms of
Brady's as smart as Dave Weinbaum, but just not as fast.
Well, I can't. My wife was sitting there listening to it. She's not here right now, but she was. I said, "Did you just hear that?" I said, "I just said that. I just said that a minute ago. Same words." And she's not paying attention though. So what do I know? She don't care.
She knows you, Dave.
Yeah, I'll kiss my. Anyways, who said that? I don't know. What? So that's where you're stopping here. It is racist. You don't.
DEI is absolutely racist.
You want people to be like Martin Luther King said, which is what?
Which is they're assessed on the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Exactly.
Now understand this. Martin Luther King was a Republican back when Republicans were real Republicans. Martin Luther King was a Republican. The racism is DEI is proof. Racism is from the Democrats. It has always been from the Democrats.
Yeah.
You go back to the civil rights movement, they opposed it. You go back to slavery. It was the Democrats that opposed it. The Republicans said, no, Bible says all men are created equal. That's what we believe. That's why we're going to make sure these slaves get freed. Okay. Yeah. Now, the thing that the Democrats have been able to accomplish in recent decades, and it's racism, is they say, well, you know what, we can't keep the shackles on these black people's chains and ankles, so we'll put shackles on their mind. We'll throw a few crumbs to them, and we'll tell them that we're helping them because they're too inept, they're too helpless to function on their own, so we'll help them out. Well, they were able to buy quite a few of them off with that kind of total bigotry and pandering, but the point is that they did it for the purpose of keeping the black Americans on that Democrat plantation. You vote for us, we'll give you things. Okay. Now people fall into that. And especially if you go to school and your kids are being told, you just can't succeed in American society because they're bigoted and you're too dumb. Okay. And people fall into that, and before long they feel helpless.
Blacks bought into that. And you know, then they got resentful. I mean, they were fairly conservative up till LBJ, okay, and then all of a sudden they dumped all this good stuff on them and made sure the men never came back to the house because they didn't have to go anywhere.
Yep.
They didn't have to pay for their kids and stuff. And
so in the process, society gets wrecked. But the Democrats get power.
Yeah, I mean, the blacks deserve some blame too for letting that happen to them.
Absolutely. As a community, but there's a huge, Dave. This I can't stress this enough. There's a huge awakening going on among Black Americans.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Maybe what they've done for me. Look at what the inner city looks like. Look at how the schools are absolutely failing my children, and yet. When we try to institute school vouchers so we could send our kids to private schools, it's the Democrats who oppose it.
Yeah, after 60 years of you getting stuff from the government that wasn't involved with some kind of a job,
it was meant to keep you
it's meant to
downtrodden and helpless.
Voting Democrat, and that's all it means.
That's
and when they get a new, you know what, you're out, and that's called the
illegal aliens?
The illegal aliens in this country. That's you got, and you know it now.
Yeah,
you know it. You know this is what they've done to you. Look at Chicago. The blacks are in like almost in unison. The black mayor who says
now
we're going to protect these aliens because some of them are black.
Here's the problem. In the midst of this. We could have had, going back decades, we could have had a bold, courageous Republican Party like Donald Trump, like J.D. Vance, that comes out and says, here's what they're doing to you. This is garbage. You are just as able to stand on your own 2 feet as any of the rest of us. And therefore, that's the way we're going to treat you. Okay. But the Republican Party didn't do that. Republican Party, the rhinos, a bunch of cowards, a bunch of moderates, they said, well, let's try and meet the Democrats halfway. And so what they come out with,
they were fine. They were fine with what the Democrats were doing.
Yeah, but you know what?
We're going to care. They didn't look at Romney. I'm not going to go after the blacks. They're never going to go Republican.
Yeah, they're stuck in the Democrats. They're too stupid to ever figure this out. So we'll just leave them there and we'll go elsewhere. Or the moderates, the Mitch McConnell types, they go out and they say, hey. We see the Democrats, now try this for a strategy. We see the Democrats giving you all this stuff. We're going to give you half as much. So vote for us. How well does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, we have people coming out and saying,
well, it's saying the truth.
Yeah.
The blacks now know it's true. And they voted for Trump more than any other Republican ever in time. Ever.
Yeah. I don't doubt that a bit. You know, when you look at how your George Bush Sr. and Jr. did amongst them, they did terrible. Why? Because you had garbage coming from them. Like, do you remember George Bush Jr. with his compassionate conservatism?
Yeah.
And reaching across the aisle and the new tone. We're going to try and be like the Democrats, just not as much. Now, is that leadership? Who's going to vote for that? This is how the rhinos operate.
They did.
And by the way,
for that. Okay.
This is why the rhinos hate Trump.
Dumbasses who don't understand what the hell they're voting for.
And you had very little crossover vote.
I voted for Bush. So that puts me in the dumbass class. I didn't know he was like that.
Well, the thing is, at the time, what else could we do? I'm not going to vote for Gore. But again, we saw this, and the Republicans, they had every plan in 2008, 2012, and 2016. They had every plan to give us somebody who was not as bad as the Democrats. 2008, John McCain. 2012, Mitt Romney. 2016, the GOP plan, you've heard me say it before, was Jeb Bush. And that was the future of the Republican Party. And we would have been blown out of the water. The big secret that the rhinos do not want you to know is that real conservatism wins. Watered down, milquetoast, so-called centrist rhino pablum trying to copy the Democrats, that's a loser. The minute we figure that out, the rhinos are out the door. And I'm telling you, Dave, it's happening big time. It happened in November.
In Arizona, in Wyoming, isn't it right now?
Wyoming is huge.
And who's responsible for that?
I am.
Oh, BS.
So, I gave, let me tell you something. I gave a talk on my book to the Wyoming Freedom Caucus in August of 2023.
Yeah.
And I was told by the legislator who's now Speaker Pro Tem, good friend of mine, Jeremy Haraldson, I was told that it changed, because I gave a copy of my book to every member of the Freedom Caucus. He said it changed the manner of the debate on the Wyoming State House floor because our side was spotting all the little Alinsky tricks. Now in Wyoming, they're not done by the Democrats because there's literally only about 4 Democrats in the State House. All the rest are so-called Republicans, but they're rhinos. But it changed how the rhinos and Democrats, they were not able to use those little Alinsky tricks to dominate the debate. So yeah, I'll take credit for some of it.
Well,
but yeah, Wyoming.
If you shut up for a second, I'm going to give you some more credit. My credit to you is that you were right about the leftists when I said, but so many of them are going to move over now because they can see it now. And I was wrong. You're right. They are invested in evil discord, calling for Trump and now Elon to be their targets.
Oh, yeah.
And don't understand that they and their party are evil and crazy. So that's where I'm coming down. And I'm saying they're going to push it too far and they don't have the numbers.
Well, I was going to say, to that degree, you're absolutely right, because what you're talking about, the evil that you're referring to, it's there. But that is
nobody wants to believe that in a whole segment of people, but they've proven themselves over and over and over, and everybody knows it now.
Here's the key, and this is something that we've got to get through to the Republican leaders between now and 2026. What you're saying is, by both counts, okay, now make a note of this. I'm agreeing with you, both counts. First of all, the Democrat core is absolutely evil to their hearts, okay? But as you said a minute ago, there's not nearly as many of them as they want us to believe. Now that we have a conservative alternative, people are flocking to that. Here's the thing, between now and the midterms, if Trump and his team can continue the momentum on the basis that they have for the couple of weeks, and I'm telling you, it's incredible. And you look at the things that have happened in just 2 weeks. If this keeps going, okay, if it goes to the midterms, we could see the biggest Republican sweep in the midterms that you have ever seen. Now, I said if, because if we got a lot of these rhinos that are still lingering there, a lot of the dinosaurs, the Mitch McConnells, the dirty tricksters, if these rhinos prevail and the Republicans manage to undermine the Trump agenda in the Congress, and they're already trying, none of these confirmations should have taken this long except for Republican capitulation. But if they are successful at watering down the Trump momentum, you're going to have 2 things. You're going to have a wind taken out of our sails with the Trump momentum, and you're going to have such an anger against the Republicans, we could see the biggest blowout against the Republicans in 2026 in the midterms. It all depends on which side actually dominates. If the rhinos dominate, we're going to get blown out of the water. If the Trump Republicans, the real conservatives, the real patriots, if they dominate, you could see the biggest Republican gain in Congress that you've ever seen.
Well, that's why I have Jeff Zink on this week, is because this was the week he was supposed to be under the gun in the Senate, asking their questions as RFK's top assistant. Okay, so that's why he's on, because the FBI have to be the ones that check him out, and Cash ain't there yet because they delayed him.
Oh, they've thwarted that to the best of their ability. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you've heard about the fact that there's all of these FBI agents that are threatening to walk out if Cash gets confirmed. Good. And you know what I say? I say let them walk out with one condition. They all have to be wearing ankle bracelets, because all of those who walk out prove themselves to be part of that weaponized FBI and the abominations
Well,
of the
that's why
Constitution.
they're walking out, is because they know it's coming.
They need
got
to. They need to be.
Pam Bondi in there now, and she's already opened up the Epstein list.
Needs
is
to
what
happen.
I've heard. Everybody's scared to death of that. Who was involved with that?
It needs to happen. These people committed crimes. These people trashed the Constitution, the rule of law.
They know, and they're not doing this necessarily just because they're evil. They're doing it because they're scared to death, and this is self-survival here now.
That's what happens to evil people when you start shining the light of truth on them.
Yeah.
They're talking this week that Adam Schiff is basically going around in a near panic.
Yeah.
And you remember how smug and arrogant he's been in the past, and he's now in a near panic. Why? Is it because he really thinks the law won't get upheld? No, it's because he thinks it will get upheld.
Well, you see, they've gotten away with this for 60 years.
Yep.
60 years is a long time to get away with stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they think it's permanent, and nothing is permanent.
Well, it has been.
Unless you do the right things all the time, and nobody does the right things all the time. You get a little bit, you get a little bit cocky, well, it's going on for, 20, 30 years, 50 years. I'm no problem.
I'm going to digress just for a second.
Coming in. So
going to digress just for a second, because you hit on a very valid point, and I say this to my fellow believers across America, because this is the time we can't be resting on our laurels. This is a time we need to be diligently, and I mean honestly, sincerely praying for the nation. If you read throughout the Old Testament, you can see this cycle that went on with Israel, where they would fall into hardship, they'd call out to God, he'd answer their prayers, he'd fix things, and said, and so for the next, and there's several incidents, for the next so many years, they lived in peace and prosperity. But then the very next verse after that says, but again, they did evil in the sight of the Lord. It's like the response to so much goodness is initial thankfulness, and then it's indulgence, and eventually it's returning to evil.
And then you turn away from God, saying you don't need God, and it's a fallacy.
And then you reap what you sow. You reap the consequences.
And then you get into trouble, and you call God back again.
Yep.
And,
so
I
let's
agree.
not do that. At least for the next 4 years, maybe the next 12 years. Let's not do that.
With a Catholic. Oh my God!
I'm not a Catholic.
Okay, you're not. You're Italian.
No. Well, see there's I see some. You're one of those DEI guys.
Where did
we're all in a category.
Wait a minute. There is some evidence for this. What did the Romans do? And the Romans where were they stationed? They were in Rome. They were why they're called Romans in Italy. Italy. Who did they conquer? Did they conquer Israel? Yes. Okay. Who did they use to build the Colosseum?
Okay.
The Jews who they had just enslaved.
Guess what? My Savior, you know what it said right above his cross? Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Okay, now we can go into that at some point.
I went to where they buried him in Jerusalem. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that. Okay,
we can get into that, but my Messiah is Jewish. Okay, and I always tell everybody,
there's truth there.
Seek the Jewish Messiah. Okay, now
he's not the Jewish Messiah to us. He is Jesus.
Well,
to you.
Well,
Jesus,
and I will let you settle that with him at the appropriate time.
Jesus never said he was the Son of God.
I will let you settle that at the appropriate time, but my Messiah is Jewish. Okay. And
good.
Having said that,
mine is too, but I don't know who he is.
Presuming that all Italians are Catholic I'm going to tell the DEI people about you, and you're in big trouble now.
I'll get fired.
Yeah, you get fired from the Dave Weinbaum Show.
Hey, so what religion are you?
I would call myself non-denominational. I'm attending a Calvary chapel in St. Joseph right now, St. Joseph, Missouri. Pastor Josh Blevins, he's wonderful. Any of you people want to watch him on YouTube, he's wonderful. He understands, first of all, the biblical principles at play, and then he takes those things and he applies them to what's going on around us.
So now you spit out that you will not let me talk about pizza anymore.
No, you can talk about pizza all you want.
You come up with a commercial for a church.
Where
do I send the bill? I got
Pastor
my pen here.
Josh Blevins. Look him up. Look him up. I challenge you.
I watch these guys all the time. My wife is a minister,
and
she's a Christian minister. Part of her job is to get me to be a Christian. It says so.
The other part of her job, and we need to work on this, is to get you to stop telling such bad jokes. But with all that said, if you make it to Cheyenne and you go to Mondello's and you have a Mondello's pizza, if it's not the best pizza you've ever had,
give you your joke right
I will
now.
pay for it.
You know, I heard you left your brain to science, but they were only taking used ones. Look at him. He's trying to hold back. He
Does
can't
that mean
hold
I'm
back.
kicked off the show early? Does that? It's only 9:50.
No.
You always tell the joke right at the end because it
was timely.
It kind of kills the momentum.
I upset your little game here.
I've got so much else to discuss with you. What do you have to discuss?
No, I got 3 more of these, but go ahead. No, go here. Here's your page right there.
Let me hear it. Let me hear. Hit me with it.
Okay, sure. Biden just signed with a big talent agency. You know that. And here's another one. That may be an option for you if things go bad.
That did sound like a bad joke. Biden signs with a talent agency.
Actually, I said for you or me if we both go broke. But at this time, I'm kind of attacking you because you're attacking me. And how many? Wait a minute. I have a question. How many people who are Italian all over the world identify as Catholics?
Not all of them.
I didn't say all of them. I'm asking you a question.
Not all Catholics are Italian.
How many do you think? I know that. How many who are Italians, some way or another, or Sicilian or whatever, do you think? What percentage say they're Catholic?
I have no idea. I don't count things like that. I count people not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character.
What the percentage of Jews are in the United States?
You know, since you brought that up, I'm going to try and get back on track here. Now, that is something
he evaded.
Yeah, I want to get back on track because you're hitting on something that I hope and pray we're seeing actually since October 7th.
Yes,
we have had the Jewish population of America has been overwhelmingly liberal. I mean, extremely over the years, and they are seeing the same thing since October 7th that Black America is waking up to, is that being liberal and assuming the Democrats are your friends is a big mistake, because ever since Hamas started attacking in Gaza and committing unspeakable atrocities, what do the American leftists do? They come out on the side of Hamas.
Yeah.
Okay. And so all of a sudden, and you don't just hear pro-Hamas, you hear flagrant anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this in mind, let's hope that this is another group of people that wakes up to the fact that this whole Democrat ideology is evil. It's not their friend. And there's one more group that ought to be shifting and coming to the right, which, by the way, on that subject, you know that Benjamin Netanyahu was in, I got it right here. He was in the White House with Trump, and Netanyahu says Trump is the best friend, American friend Israel has ever had.
You know who's sitting next to him? Right next to him? Ron Dermer, who was the ambassador from Israel to the United States, who I interviewed back in 2015.
Oh, no kidding.
When he had that. Yeah. And
tell me you didn't tell him any of your bad jokes.
Oh, I sure did.
Oh.
He laughed.
Damaging international relations.
I can't remember offhand. I said something. Look, I got one more question, because they were trying to get him out. I had the FBI there, and I had seriously, and I had his people there, and they wanted him to leave early. He turned around and said to them, he says, "Hey, I'm staying, and you guys got to be quiet back there." He told that to his own people. Okay.
I love it.
We had a 30-minute interview, and it was
when
cool.
was this?
I said, "Look, I got one more question." I said, "Can you validate my stamp? I'm parked in the airport. I'm parked at the airport." Now he's laughing. See, that wasn't bad. And that was remembering 10 years ago when I interviewed him, and he's still there. Amazing. I got him from the rabbi. Who am I getting from you?
I'll give you somebody you want to talk to. I'll give you a couple of people. One of them actually is Jewish.
Wait a minute.
Her name
Wait.
is Sloan Rockmuth.
The cricket.
She read my book in North Carolina, and she said she calls me her mentor. She's carrying on the fight in North Carolina. Look her up, Sloan Rockmuth. She's a brave, patriotic hero, and you ought to have her on. You really should have her on. She's great.
Okay. Is she a daughter of yours, or
no? She's not my daughter. She's young enough to be my daughter, but she's not.
Are you writing that down? No, you're not. All right, why don't you?
I'll text it to you. Sloan Rockmuth. Okay, the other one is the Speaker Pro Tem of the Wyoming State House, Jeremy Haroldson, and I mean they are kicking butts in the Wyoming State House. The rhinos are having a fit. The Democrats are having a fit. The lefty newspapers in Wyoming are having a fit. Wyoming is looking right now at this point to possibly be the very first state to go totally paperless, or I mean totally paper ballots in their elections. And they're setting the stage for the rest of the country.
That's super.
We've got good things happening all across the country.
This is why I like you. You actually are contributing a lot of really good stuff. That despite the fact that you won't laugh at my jokes, although you're getting better.
Well, when you crack a funny one, I'll laugh. I promise.
I just cracked one, and you laughed.
Yeah.
The evidence.
Okay. Think about that now. I said you crack a funny one, I'll laugh. So okay.
Do you know another thing?
Well, we got more to talk about here.
No, wait a minute. There's one more thing that I got to talk to you about, and that is my son put you on clips on TikTok.
Oh,
and
okay, that's right.
And you, sir, are kicking ass along with JJ, of all things. You even dress alike, for God's sakes. He's a lot older than you, but you know, you dress alike and you sound alike. And these young kids are picking up on you guys and me to a certain extent. And JJ got 27,000, 4,000 hits on TikTok. Okay, he got 1,200 comments on TikTok, and you have like 4,000 here and 3,000 there, 2,000. I mean, you're doing very well there. The youngsters are finding out about you. Tell the youngsters where you can buy your book.
Okay, my book right up here. My book, Rules for Defeating Radicals. And I tell you what, if you're young people, this is actually really valuable for you because you're going right into the hornet's nest of all the leftist manipulations in the workplace. If you're political activists, this is the way that they use the Alinsky tactics to manipulate you, to put you on defensive, to intimidate you. And what I do is I go through my book and explain who they are and how they operate. Once you really fully understand that, you understand they have major chinks in their armor. We explain how to go up against those things, and this is how to actually confront leftists for the purpose of defeating them. I would like to get this into the hands of every homeschooled high school kid in this country before they go off to college, so they don't get totally brainwashed. So yeah, this is absolutely valuable for young people, for adults entering the political field, and it's available at Amazon.
And it should be in every school in the country.
Every school, every school that wants to teach kids how to properly function, it should be there. I absolutely
other
agree
propaganda, other their own propaganda in there. But you know what? This is America, and you're supposed to have your documentary in with the other one.
What I do is explain how they're being deceitful, how to read between the lines with them, and get back to the real issues. And once you do that, you're having, it's not a propaganda thing; it's truth versus lies. Once you do that, you're arguing truth against their lies. Truth wins.
All right, I think I hear my next guest coming, so I gotta let you go.
And who's that?
So we've already talked about where you get your book. I don't know what else to say except that you were great today. I appreciate you, and hi to your wife. And oh, by the way, did you want to come to the? You say you never come down, or I never come up to visit. March the 6th is when they have the Pregnancy Resource Center banquet.
Oh,
you want to come?
I don't know if we can right now, but we'll keep that in mind.
Well, just let me know. Okay. And I'll give you the directions and all that stuff. All right. Thank you, my friend. Let's hear it for one Chris Adamo. Adamo.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. Okay. Woo. All right. I've got, who do I have next? I got Bill, right? All right. So he should be right outside. All right. So let's see. We've done all the commercials, right? We've got that. Let's play a couple more clips. Where are we at in clips?
We're up to number 5.
Number 5. Play 5 and 6.
I had a guest on last night who flies these Army choppers, and she said that the air traffic control communication was bad. It was poor, it was vague, and that could have caused this crash. And no one knows why this Black Hawk was flying in this flight path anyway. But why don't we have enough guys? Also, not only the staffing, was because of the pandemic, we stopped for 2 years training these guys. How is that not an essential worker? So we have no one to go onto these towers and control this. Only 1% of air traffic facilities in this entire country have hit their staffing targets. That was last year. That was under Mayor Pete. So this is poor management, it's poor priorities, and if they have a problem with it in the media, it's called constructive criticism.
The truth is that they're making DEI about race when it's about intelligence. It's about competence. It's about recognizing that we need the smartest people doing surgery, flying aircrafts, protecting the American people. We know certain things. We know that the helicopter was at 200 feet, was supposed to be, and then it was at 350. Right. We know Jesse's right about the controller saying, do you see a plane, without identifying which plane it was, because there was one landing and one taking off. So that's a problem. Now we hear today that there was a controller who left early.
Yeah. Well, Washington, D.C. and Reagan National have been managing these types of flights with the different elevations, the planes, commercial planes, and the helicopters for years. There's been tens of thousands of flights in and out of Reagan without having this problem. So the question is, what has changed? I mean, if you live in D.C. and you fly in and out of D.C. all the time, you see these helicopters all around town. And the question is, well, why is it there are helicopters in these paths anyway? They're doing military training. There's no other place in the whole country they can do military training that's not literally in the pathway of these commercial airline flights. Also, these helicopters are there because high profile politicians or cabinet members or people who want to get out of traffic and get somewhere quickly, they want a helicopter ride from the Pentagon to the White House to Langley to the CIA, et cetera. So that's why these fights are taking place. It's not that they're necessary, but they have been able to manage them. And so you have to ask the question of what has changed here? And Jesse's right. You know, there's this class action lawsuit against the FAA for turning away thousands of highly qualified individuals who applied for these FAA jobs because they weren't the right skin color.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. But ultimately what it is it's about machine learning. And so the machine is taught. And part of the issue here is what information is going into the machine that will then determine, and we can predict then, if we think about what information is going in, what then will be produced in terms of decisions and opinions that may be made through that process.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
It's so good. Oh, yeah, it's so good. Yeah, you just missed. Wait, what happened to the cackle?
That's not. It's a different. That's a different.
Well, play the cackle.
Oh God, do I?
All right, Bill. Yes, come on, man. You got to give him the whole thing.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
And I welcome my next guest with the cackle of Kamala.
Thank you.
Actually, she got. I saw the people jump. Or maybe it's just because you're here.
Yeah, they just
did you make an announcement or something, or what?
It was difficult getting through the hallway because
of you.
I was like, guys, I've got to go to Dave's show.
Really?
I appreciate it. Yeah. But.
So you're not really late. You're just maybe for you that's like late would be like a half an hour, but usually a couple minutes late, which is no big deal.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you can do that because you're a powerful guy.
I don't think I'm powerful. I try to be respectful of people's time.
No, you're respectful.
There's somebody usually on the back end before I get to you that I'm trying to help out. You know what I mean? So
I know what you
do. And you usually say, "Yeah, I got to go."
Yeah, I know you're a big helper.
Well, I try to help people. That's good. If you're not in your job, job to serve people.
Let me introduce you to the few people that don't know who you are. Which I don't know where the hell they are. But what are you doing? You don't know this guy? He was a platoon leader in Iraq. In the Iraq War, just like Pete Hegseth, right?
There are a couple parallels, yeah.
Yeah. He's still in the National Guard. He's a lawyer, a philosopher, a professor, college professor at that, and he's a state rep with Missouri. Please welcome my friend, Bill Hardwick.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, you're welcome, Bill.
Thank you to the dozens of people who followed me in to give that applause.
Yes. All right, we have them outside. Let's hear that applause too. All right, go ahead. Not too long. All right, that's enough. I don't want to pay overtime.
Thank you, guys.
We don't need overtime.
Now,
here.
I know we're going to have some good conversation with Bill, and one thing I want to talk about real quick, because we always have a good conversation with Bill. It's just a given.
Okay.
But of course, Doge, which is of course, running roughshod. We have a new acronym for what it stands for.
What?
Democrats officially getting exposed. That's what Doge stands for.
All right.
There's a lot of waste in the government, that's for sure.
Yeah. You're going to see on the government. I see you're going to go easy on the Democrats here. Anyways, so Trump signs now how significant is this that Trump signs an order to stop men from competing with girls? How simple is that? And how effective is that? You're a politician. Take it from why this is a good thing from just a logical, sensible thing to such a good political move in the way you handle it.
Sure. Well, first of all, I think we spent about a decade in this country telling people something that was a lie, that a boy could be a girl and a girl could be a boy and there's no difference.
Right.
And that we just kind of stole young people's identities and said it's okay to do this surgery.
But why did they do that?
That's a good question. Now, why do me personally think? Nobody's ever asked me why I
don't
think
care
they
what you
did it.
think.
Okay.
No, I do care what you think, but I want to know why they did
why
that.
do I think I did it? Why do I think that happened in our society? I personally think, so you risk me telling me what I really think, and this is dangerous.
Oh, no. I want you to hear. No, that's
okay.
why you're here.
I think that there's a force of evil.
Nobody's listening. What the hell are you
Okay,
care?
fine.
Come on, bring it.
Okay, I think that there's a force of evil in the world that hates children and hates human life, and it's the same thing that that it's a lie, and the lie destroys people, and that's how and so it's a lie that if there's a young person that says I think I'm a girl, and they say you can be a girl, and that's fine, and that's brave, that's a lie, and that lie destroys that young person's life.
Yes,
and so when you say,
do they know that? Do you think?
I think that is why what the President Trump's executive order is important. I think that's why the SAFE Act in Missouri is important, because it's a statement of the truth that there are two biological sexes. There are boys and there are girls. And if you're a boy, even if you take hormone therapy, if your parents say whatever, the doctor says whatever, you're not going to become a girl. And in trying to do that, you're going to irreparably harm your life and take your future away from you. And if you're a young woman, you may get to the point where you can never have a child, where you're going to have those hormone therapies are not going to be reversible. And there are lots of really horrific mental and physical consequences to those children they try to transition, and nobody ever tells them about that. They just say, this is the brave, in vogue thing to do. And about the time Donald Trump took office, I think it hit a cacophony, a peak in 2016 in our country. And I will point out too, when Joe Biden became the president, there were some military memos that went out that said, use the preferred pronoun, use the preferred nomenclature, or you could be subject to an orders violation prosecution. Right. And that was the Joe Biden policy. It was extreme to the left on transgender issues. This last month, the federal government's been completely overhauled, and people that have pronouns in their emails have received emails that said, take your pronouns down or you're going to be fired.
Yeah.
Complete reversal in the federal government quickly. And some people say, well, this is whiplash, the pendulum's swinging too far. I tend to think that we went so far to the left socially, nationally, culturally, in Hollywood, in academia, in medicine, in the medical establishment, so far. And it was just a lie that was built upon a lie. I think it's really important for somebody to say, yeah, a male should not be boxing a female. A male should not be running track against a female. That's not fair, because I don't think women are better than men. Men are better than women, but they're different. They're biologically different. So the truth is what's important to stand for, that we stand for a true position, and young people can hear that. And to me, it's a simple thing. It's a common sense thing, but it's a big deal just to tell the country the truth.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that really struck me. That you knew the word cacophony.
Cacophony is a good word.
Is it really a word? Cacophony?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I trust you on that. But now Trump signs this order to stop men from competing with girls, to go into the bathrooms, to go into their locker rooms, and he's threatening to the people that are going to continue doing this. He's going to take away all their federal money. Okay, and probably arrest some of them. Okay, now my question is, what do you think about the gathering of girls, including people like Riley Gaines, who, by the way, when I contributed her some money, she brought me she bought me a big bottle of honey. I mean, honey. Do you understand? Okay, I guess you don't understand. Anyway. Anyways, all those girls
looking like a deer in the headlights over here. I'm like,
yeah, there you go. All those girls were out there, and only girls, little girls, women, all surrounding Donald Trump. What does this do? What do you think about that as a politician?
I think he's really insightful. I think McDonald's was a good move. I think the trash collector was a good move. I think that Donald Trump understands the power of imagery. Oh, yeah. J.D. Vance.
Yeah, here.
I'm loving it. Yeah. Trump Vance.
With McDonald's on it. Yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day that a lot of being in politics is taking good pictures. Like, just knowing, like, because the images are powerful. Yeah. So think about what you think about history.
Of course, you have to have something to work with.
Yeah, no, well, I'm bad at it. Because sometimes I'll just show you like all the pictures they take of me.
You're a good-looking guy. Give me a break. You're a good-looking guy.
I think
Stop it.
It's just my lack of ability to pose. I don't do my hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you think about when you think of history, think about history or think of politics. What comes in your mind? Images.
Yeah.
Imagery. The flag coming up at Iwo Jima, right? The protesters at Tiananmen Square. You think of an image.
Yeah.
A picture. So history's told. There's told in stories, but the stories are told in these photos. So one thing I think that's really clever and shrewd about Donald Trump is as a showman, as a business, as a TV guy, as an entertainment guy, he understands the power of imagery, right?
Yeah.
The image of him at McDonald's, the image of him in the trash collector, the image of him surrounded by women who says, look, he's standing up for our rights. He's the one who's protecting us. Those are just powerful memes that go out to the culture, right? And we communicate kind of by meme right now.
Everybody was either going in a highway vest and or a trash bag.
Yeah,
I mean they were wearing trash bags. It became an amazing sight to see this at rallies, that people were wearing this kind of stuff.
It was,
right?
And so it was just a trash vest.
Of course, he got the highway vest. Where did he get that from? He got that from me. Obviously, because I've been doing this for years and years and years.
So people would wear the trash vest, for example. They would see Trump in the trash vest, the image, and it was just a simple symbol. But what it was a placeholder for was there's this elite establishment, and they don't like you, right? And they think that you're garbage, and they think that you're stupid, and they have actually not been fighting for your interest at all.
Right.
And look what they're attacking vicarious to you. Just that vest said all those things. And just having people like Riley Gaines and stuff surrounding Donald Trump, he's making a similar kind of statement.
By the way, did I mention that she sent me a big jar of honey?
No. Did you say that? No.
Yeah. I okay. I just want you to know that.
Honey's good for you, I think.
And by the way, here's another thing.
It's like anti.
We searched the records all over the United States, in all countries. Kamala Harris did not work at McDonald's. Maybe she worked the back parking lot, but she didn't work at McDonald's. Just thought he'd get that straightened out. Okay, so Trump. Now he's doing a lot of stuff. He's telling you about these tariffs.
Yeah,
it's really funny stuff. I mean, because they're just so upset. Canada and we're not going to be your next state. We resent it. We're going to tariff your ass. And the same thing with a bunch of others like that. The Panama Canal thing, Greenland.
That's right. Those are good calls.
And calling Mexico,
Colombia, Mexico,
and calling the ocean there, instead of the Mexican Gulf, it's now the Gulf of America.
Yeah, to drill.
I mean, this is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And it's causing all these people to sort of like shift. I mean, it's shifting. It's him.
Yeah.
Kim, he's going to clean up Gaza.
Right.
We just have to move the population around. Okay. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing. Now, if you were president, would you continue that kind of negotiation
with him? Yeah,
Yes.
I think what he's doing is great. So the explanation for it, I think, goes back to World War II. After World War II, we put in this global financial system called the Bretton Woods system. There was these trade agreements with these countries around the world.
Right.
And then America funneled massive amounts of money and gave really sweetheart deals to all kinds of countries for about 40 or 50 years because we wanted them to side with us over the USSR during the Cold War. And so that created a paradigm of how we, free trade and whatever. But then in 2001, China joined the World Trade Organization, and they and other countries just quit playing by the rules.
Yeah.
So we would be the ones that say, "Hey, we have free trade," but
Right.
they would enact protectionist policies. And so these great think tank folks were like, "No, the free trade." They have this post World War II model. But what happened was all these countries, like in the Panama Canal, Russia, they were just kind of like doing their own thing. And little by little, America was bleeding lots of money while losing influence, while countries like China came in and just built in free infrastructure in Africa and Central American countries. So Trump came along and he said that post-World War II Bretton Woods model is kind of archaic because all of our competitors are not playing by the rules.
Yeah.
The United States is the only country playing by the rules.
So wait, they all followed the example of China?
Well, China did it in a way. So like each time the World Trade Organization would rule against China, for example, the artificial islands in the South China Sea, China would just go, great. We're not going to do that.
Did we threaten them at all and say,
Well, not until, actually, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So China was kind of running roughshod for about 20 years, 15 years there, until Donald Trump came along and they asserted the policy of maximum pressure, which a few of his national security advisors wanted, which was economic pressure on trade, on tariffs, which was increased military presence in the Pacific and the South China Sea, which was negotiating with Kim Jong-un on the Korean Peninsula, which was renegotiating trade with Japan, which was all kinds of things, asserting pressure on Russia.
And reasserting our friendship with South Korea as well.
Right, in South Korea.
That was a big deal.
Going to South Korea, relations with India, all these things put lots of pressure on China to bring President Xi to the table. So when you go to negotiate, this is a businessman.
Sure.
If I've got nothing to negotiate with, me saying pretty please, it'd really be important to me, that's not going to help you negotiate.
Right.
To negotiate, you have to have a more powerful position, a stronger position.
And you have to know how to use it.
You have to know how to use it.
Yeah.
So when you go into negotiations with Colombia, with countries in the Middle East, in that region, with Canada, I think it's more helpful to have what they need and what they want, and to be able to exert pressure. But if you just come and say, "Man, based on your goodwill," I just don't think the world's like that. It's just brutal,
it's not.
right?
You're right.
So it's better that America.
It's about strength. It's about strength, and it's about bullies.
There are lots. Well, okay.
And what you're going to do about bullies?
There's only one thing to do with a bully.
Oh, here, I got something, because I heard that that when China early on kind of went bad, we were going to have a war with them. We were going to call it We were going to call it a Mongolian beef.
Mongolian beef?
Yes.
They had
it was a joke.
Look, I feel my duties to reveal to the audience that those weren't actual people laughing. That was just.
Wait a minute! They're outside. Go open the door quick.
No, I can't.
Quick! They're all there. They're all there in the next. Oh, now
I can't go in my monologue.
They have strict
no
instructions that once the laughter is out, you got to get the hell out of there because I'm not paying overtime. Did you hear me? I'm not paying overtime.
I can't do a 20-minute monologue on telling the truth and make people think that was organic audience reaction. It just wasn't.
Does anyone really believe that that I have people here that are applauding?
Well, I think some people at home are probably applauding.
Well, they should be. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. So let's talk about something else then. So what do you think Trump is do? What's he thinking about? See, he's getting everybody to think because he's coming out and saying things that people have said, maybe haven't, but he's putting them in such a nature that they sound like they're new ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's something that, for example, in Gaza, well, the Jews in Israel have been going along with this BS about Hamas having all these ceasefires and attacking, and 18 of them. Right? They finally figured out that because Joe Biden, in his great wisdom, gave $1.5 billion for 5 or 6 U.S. hostages right before 10/7, that Hamas must have said it's Muhammad's birthday. We get the hostages. We sell them back for over $1 billion. Who wouldn't want that deal if you're a terrorist?
Right.
All right.
That's right. From the point of view of Hamas or Hezbollah, you attack, you kill people, you invade territory, and then the United States will give you some money and maybe some resources and some arms, and then you take a break.
We could dig more. Yeah, dig more. We take the money, we dig more things until we beat these bastards.
We'll give you some weapons. We'll give you some money. You take a break. When you feel up to it again, attack Israel. We'll give you some money. We'll give you some weapons. You can take a break. And that cycle's been going on for decades.
Yeah.
So you need a long-term solution that ends that cycle, that breaks that cycle.
So do you
attacking Israel?
Do you even think that for a moment that he's going to send troops to Gaza?
I think that if I were president, I would not say I will never attack you.
Yeah.
Because everybody should know that
he's already threatened to attack them via the hostage deal. He did that before he was inaugurated. He says, if you guys haven't returned those hostages, apparently he gave into a little bit of negotiation there because they're still not all back. But if you don't have that thing signed, all hell is going to break loose there.
Yes. No, everybody should know that there is something that they could do to incur the wrath of the United States.
Bingo.
So nobody should say that the United States will never attack me. So no president should take that off the table.
He's done it before as a president.
He has, and he's the only president who's actually killed Russian troops in the Syrian missile launches and during his first term, right?
And the guy from Iran who was setting off killing Americans in Iraq.
Yeah, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
No, there was another guy.
Oh yeah, Khomeini.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was right, and that's right. So he's shown the ability to use that strength and to have a response, and I think that's important to say that there are things that we could do the United States will attack over. That's important, because you need to have the threat of that behind everything, right? When you're interacting internationally, I think that what Donald Trump's going to do in Israel is what he's done in all in these fronts around the world. Is he going to do something different than what his predecessors have done that has failed? And everybody has thought you play nice with the Palestinians, the PLO, you play nice with Hezbollah, you play nice with Hamas. We try to negotiate a treaty. But then that piece of paper, when that president leaves, they tear it up. Or just when he goes back to America, it gets torn up. And now there's violence against Israel again. So I think that Donald Trump, I'm hopeful. Part of I voted for him for many reasons. But one of the reasons was I want something different.
You voted for Trump?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Can you say that on the show?
I did. I voted for Donald Trump. I've lost a lot of friends over it.
Sorry.
I have.
Did
There are a lot of people who won't talk to
They
me
thought
anymore.
you weren't going to vote for Trump.
No, just
well, how were you deceiving them into thinking that you weren't going to vote for Trump?
I never deceived anybody about that.
Okay, so why, if they're your friends, they would know that you were voting for Trump. And you say you lost friends.
Maybe they weren't my friends.
See, you're dealing with somebody who thinks he's a lawyer.
Maybe they weren't my real friends. After
There
all.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, it's their fault.
Well, I'm saying that. I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of people who, like, they took my political positions very personally, right? And they said, "Hey, I can't believe you would support this guy."
I've had people walk up to me like that, and why are you for Trump? One of them's from this building. He's a lawyer. I'm not going to tell you who, but he just before the election, he says, I'm wearing my Trump hat, and he says, JP, okay, see the Trump hat? I'm wearing this. He says, what are you wearing that for? I says, because I'm a Trump guy. He says, why are you a Trump guy? Hey, do you know what he's done with women and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. I know everything he's done in his life. I said, and he is the best person for all this.
Yeah.
All right. There's not even, you're going to want to vote for Kamala. I said, she hasn't won, and he wanted to vote for Kamala. I said, you are out of your mind. This guy's an intelligent lawyer. Okay. And I know the two things don't necessarily match all the time, but this guy, I knew him to be pretty smart. And some people just don't, they have just different opinions. But, I'm right most of the time. I look at my record. My record's pretty damn good.
There wasn't really much of a choice for me.
Yeah.
There was one person who presented an opportunity to change things that I thought were terrible. I thought the last 4 years were completely disastrous.
Oh my God.
I think that the media and all the smart lawyers and smart people who are rich, they completely underestimate how resentful the general public was of the way their government treated them in the last 4 years.
Well,
completely underestimate it.
They were doing well. Let's put it that. They were doing well.
The guys at the top were.
Yeah, but I'm doing pretty good too. And so, for me, you would say, well, you're doing all right. Maybe I should just keep it this way. No, I was doing good because I did things differently than most people, and I wasn't charmed by the Biden administration at all. Okay, at all. I knew what they were going to do, didn't you? She's the head of the Merrimack Republican group. What do you think?
I've stepped down.
But you're still in there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Thought
I'd get you a little bit in there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got to pay her anyway, so I should.
Oh, geez.
You know what? There's a story. There's certain notes that families over and over.
Yes.
I can hear in 4 years.
Yeah.
That my husband served in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
He got a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
And then look what happened. The 20 years of that and the withdrawing from Kabul like that. Then he went and got a job, and then he got fired because he wouldn't take the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Then he tried to go start his own business or get another job, but because we spent all that money, the prices of everything went up. Now we can't buy groceries, or we can't afford everything.
Sure.
And these people were just crunched. And they turn on the TV, and it's January 6 guys being arrested.
Yeah.
It's Biden telling everybody who's working class how it's their fault, and they're crunched and they're mad. And so Trump comes along and he's like, I'm going to reverse all that, and I'm going to stick it to these guys. And they're like, okay, that's all we got to go on. And what does the media do? And what does the Justice Department do? And New York do? They just pour on him everything, right, to stop him.
Are you talking about in 2016 or now?
I'm talking like the 4 years of Biden.
Yeah.
That people were genuinely hurt. And they go, look, Trump is, which I'm sensitive to people who are like, hey, Trump is hurting us now, whatever. He's doing these things.
Right.
Okay, but where were you for 4 years when those people lost their jobs for refusing to take the COVID vaccine? Where were you for 4 years when people there was nowhere to work? They were crunched. The groceries prices went up. They doubled, right?
And where were you when they were hiring white or all black people or all Asian people and not a white person?
I think that race should not be a hiring consideration, period, right?
Right.
So he's the best person for the job. They should get hired.
Right.
So these people were genuinely hurt by those policies.
Yes.
Their families were crushed, and there were a lot of people struggling. Inflation is a tax on the poor. And then And then you're like, okay, well, Trump's the only guy he's at least listening to me.
Yeah.
Going to do it. And then all those things that just got poured onto him, all those people, I'm saying all those people, me, was like, there's no way I'm not voting for him. Right. You see what the federal government's capable of doing to somebody who crosses him, and they vote for him to go back and undo it. They want him. They want Pete Hegseth to come reform DOD.
Sure.
They want Pam Bondi. I want RFK Jr.
Yeah, and you want Jeff Zink too.
Oh, is he back on?
He's on.
Oh,
hang out for
just a few minutes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When are you going to Congress to be checked out to be in J or RFK's top assistant?
Is Jeff going to work for RFK?
Yes.
Did I announce that on the air?
Huh?
That's great, Jeff.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yes, I got President Trump has nominated me as the Assistant Secretary of Health. I'll be replacing Admiral Richard, better known as Rachel Levine.
Wait a second. Is this true?
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah. Hey, come on.
Wait, am I so joking?
Well, if it's not true, the conversation I just had with Trump's transition team then they're kind of blowing smoke for me. So
you're going to be the Assistant Secretary of Health, Jeff.
Yeah,
correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right now. We're waiting on.
You were shocked because this happened to somebody who's been on the show for 5 times.
Well, no, I just did the whole
for like 5 years.
I just did the whole like pendulum swing from like I can't believe this to over, and then Jeff's like I'm going to replace Richard Levine or something. I'm like that's incredible.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I have a show.
That's Jeff. That's incredible.
Him.
Thank you.
Come on. Then that's why I expect big things out of you. So you hang out as long as you can. And lunch is being offered to you at McDonald's.
I've got to go back. I got an event back in.
I'll tell him you got to do something important. Hell,
tell him you have a meeting with the Assistant Secretary of Health.
Tell me about. Well, not everybody knows who you are, despite the fact that you're on this show a lot, and they're not hearing from you yet, but they will be. Jeff.
Well, and part of that is because Kash Patel has to get in office. I'm the very first person that he's going to do the federal background check. That I've got to go and have my federal background check. Once I'm cleared there, then what's going to happen is that I've got to go to DC. I'll start meeting with all of the different senators and stuff, and then I've got to go through my confirmation hearing as well. And so the thing is that what I'm now able to do, and the reason why it's delayed and attached to Kash is because I'm a J6er. My son was convicted, and we've got some really big things that are coming in. We just got confirmation that a lawsuit is now being filed, and my son's a part of it. And everyone who was a part of the 1512C2. Now, because the Supreme Court upheld that, all of their charges must be dropped. They cannot keep the ones there because they were attached to the 1512. So you have about 320 people that don't need the pardon that aren't going to be charged because they can't in the Supreme Court. So we're in the process of filing that appeal, and once it goes to the appellate court, then we'll win that case.
Is one of those lawyers Mark McCluskey?
No, but Mark is. We have reached out, and we've been talking to him. So I'm hoping that maybe he will join that as well.
Also, a frequent guest on, need I say it, the Dave Weinbaum Show.
This is the Dave Weinbaum Show.
I know you know jujitsu because I saw your picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
But you and me might go around a little bit.
No, I'm funny, but I have a bad man pajama. That's true.
Okay, so other than that, this man is a kinesiologist, which probably is a really good thing for him, because I think that kind of made you eligible to be with RFK and be
Actually, it's going to be that's my bachelor's degree. My master's degree in sports medicine and exercise physiology is what qualifies me.
Yeah, but you got all sorts of things going for you because.
Well, I do.
Well, tell us about your forensic audits of elections.
Well, that's something that I've been a part of over the last 4 years, and I've stated it here multiple times. After we did the Arizona audit, which was the first audit in American history in 2020, and then we went on here in Arizona to do the 2022, and now completed the 2024. We're getting faster. We're actually able to look at the data. And we're able to do the analytics so much faster. But in between the 2020 and 2022, I went on to Texas and Georgia. Doug Mastroni got basically kicked out of his chairman's seat in the Senate there at the state level, and the Democrats shut down any audit that was taking place. So Pennsylvania at that time didn't do it.
Which state was this?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then we went on to Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, Colorado, where Tina Peters, we need to get her out, and I plan on helping and getting her out legally, lawfully. We're not breaking in and doing this. So the Democrats that are going to be watching this program now, because they're going to find out whatever I've said on here will be used in my confirmation hearing.
I'm sure.
And then Oregon being the last one. And so the thing is that, we have the receipts. We know what happened. We can prove we just have a corrupt judicial system that has been in place for the election integrity aspect, the J6 aspect. And so we've seen where our system has been weaponized against the American people. And so this is one of the problems. But, the thing is that when they reached out to me to be the Assistant Secretary of Health, one of the things is that I serve at the pleasure of the president, and then I serve at the pleasure of RFK Jr. And my goal is to make sure that their policies are implemented. And here's the thing that we've got to do, and this is something that Bill, you're gonna be excited about, because the policies have to be put in place in the first 6 months. That way we can do empirical data research, peer reviewed, and that it is patient outcome driven. And then we're going to be able to give that to you so you can run against any Democrat or your opponent and saying that these are the results. We have to do that, and they'll be updated monthly so that you'll have the most accurate research that is being provided for the American people. The other is this one of the things that we have solutions for cancer. We have solutions for a lot of the diseases like Lyme disease and stuff. We have solutions for them. And we're going to be able to come to the table with so much more. And then the other thing too is that the PBMs, the pharmaceutical broker managers, they're going to be done away with. So you can already start campaigning on that, saying that this administration is getting rid of them. The other is that we're going to start taking on Obamacare, and where we were unable to do it in Trump's first term, this second term, I have plans that we're going to be implementing. I can't discuss it right now, but I will be discussing it more in detail. But we're going to replace Obamacare, and we're going to be looking at taking care of and making sure that the American people are put first. Remember, this is a America First president and administration. And so in the healthcare industry, we're going to start doing that as well.
Wow. So when will they vote on cash?
They put it off for a week, so it won't be until sometime next week.
Do that?
A lot of it is because he put together this J6 singing. So what happened is that the J6ers all got together, and one of the guys recorded them singing the national anthem. He took it, and somebody went and they put it together, and then he put it out on X, and it went viral and stuff. And so the Democrats and the Republicans have an issue with him being associated with the J6 imprisoned or prisoners that was singing the national anthem.
So is that illegal?
He did absolutely nothing illegal.
Of course not. They're stalling for some reason. They're stalling. They're seeing what's happening, and I think they're getting real scared. And maybe they should be. I don't know. I don't want you to say that or not. But, let's talk about the border in Texas. In one day now, it's about 11,000 last year compared to 250 today. They've almost shut down the border almost entirely, at least in Texas. What about Arizona and New Mexico? And,
well, I know in Arizona, what we're going to do is we've got a couple of contractors that are going to start up, and they're going to try to finish the wall in 2 years. And we have about 150 to 200 miles left that is still open, and it's the very hilly area. It's area that is very rugged, but the thing is that the coyotes, the cartel, are now leading them through those open areas, and so that's what they're going to start closing. And so we're going to have our military show up, and they're going to be protecting the contractors because if they make the mistake of actually hitting somebody, they've been fired upon already, my understanding, and but nothing significant has been hit. But they do that, and they may get a little bit more than what they can do here.
Oh, that's interesting because that was my next question. Is the cartels seem to be they're getting their income cut off, as well as will some other people in politics. I won't call them by their names, but it looks to me like a lot of people are worried about the cartels and maintaining them. Your thoughts?
Well, and that's part of it. I mean, and the thing is that USAID, or what I would like to say is you said what? Because the expenditures that are taking place right now, what we're now finding and uncovering, and oh, by the way, I'll give you breaking news because you've been involved in this and stuff. Right now, Elon and a group of people are in the Department of Education, and they've locked the building down, and the Democrats are screaming outside because they can't be let in. And so they're now on the chopping block, and we're going to find out. They're supposed to have about 140 employees, and they have almost 14,000.
So McMahon is going to lose her job a lot sooner than the president predicted, right?
Well, the thing is that, in 1979, when Jimmy Carter first put the Department of Education together, it was to make it unified so that all schools and no child will be left behind, as Hillary has stated, and all of this. Yes. What we found is that our scores for our population. Remember, Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, made this statement: I don't need educated people, I need workers.
Yeah.
And then he went on to fund all of the college and universities and the medical schools. And so his influence of dumbing down the American people, so that we have another gentleman, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but he said we need a population that's educated high enough that they can be told what to do, but not so high that they question why.
Yeah.
And so this is one of the problems that we have, and what we're seeing with the Department of Education is the fact that we have this bloated, bureaucracy, and they're not proving that they're worth being paid, because since they've come into existence, the American student, their performance has steadily gone down. And so that's one of the reasons why we're now looking at it and saying, this needs to be gone. So that's going on as we speak.
Do Democrats not agree with the VAERS report on the vaccines and what they compare to other years, let's say, of the flu and that? Do they not agree that the VAERS report indicates that the vaccines, once given, created a lot of other problems? Do they not understand that, or is it not true?
No, what they're doing is they're ignoring the true silent information that we have out there. So the exchange between Robert Kennedy and Bernie Sanders, where he said that there is no research whatsoever of a correlation of vaccines to autism. Well, one of the things is that in 1962, when I was born, I was only given 5. All right, 5 vaccines. That's all I was given the whole time. The average autistic person that was on that scale at that time was 1 in 10,000 or 100,000. So 1 in 100,000 was there a autistic child that came up. In 1983, it jumped up to 10. And what really is interesting is that the correlation is 1 in 88. Then it jumped up again in 2000, where they have 74 vaccines that are given to children, and it's 1 in 36. And so, and then in that exchange, when Bernie said that there's no research whatsoever, I knew of 2. I pulled those up and then found 18 more. So when I go into my confirmation, I'm going to be turning over that research, which correlates directly from the additives of mercury that are in there. There's no reason for mercury to be added to anything in any vaccine and stuff. And so this is something that, if you remember, in the 1800s, the person who did hats, did these hats right here, what were they called? The Mad Hatter. Why? Because they used mercury to form and heat and to put that in there, and they were absorbing mercury into their hands, and it caused senility. It caused them to have this rage of lashing out to people and everything else. That's why they got the term, he's mad as a Mad Hatter. Well, that's where that comes from.
I thought the answer was Stetson. I guess I was wrong. I was way off. All right. So Title IX, we're going to go on to other subjects because you're going to be battered with some of these questions about the VAERS reports. Nobody mentions that. Why not? It's a CDC government agency, right? It's run by the government. Why don't people believe it?
Well, they've lost all trust in our government. I mean, and rightly so, because they're the ones that said that, with Fauci over that. Now, I know he was part of NIH, but he was also part of CDC as well. And the thing is that those vaccines and mask mandates, those were, strong suggestions. We think you should take this, but they treated it, and the military treated it as these are things that you have to do. Then you don't have a choice. And so that's one of the reasons why, my boss is now reinstating all of those officers, men and women that were kicked out of the military for not taking the vaccine, plus getting them their back pay and restoring their rank and stuff, so that they can have that honorable discharge instead of having a blight on their record. And so these are things where we're going to go back to it. And just to let you know, So if we go all the way back to 4000 BC and we move all the way to 2020, there was only two genders, male and female. And then in 2021 to 2024, we had almost 163, I think was the highest genders that we had. And then as of today in 2025, we're back to two.
Did you say 4,000 years?
4,000 BC, okay, 4,000 BC, all the way to
back
2020.
In the Jurassic period, the genders converged into two. So I'm just joking. That wasn't a good joke. I'm sorry.
Don't use that joke tomorrow. No, it's not going to work.
Well, the fake audience didn't even laugh at that one.
Well, okay, all right. Well, when I was talking about the VAERS report implies that these vaccines. The implication is that these vaccines were terrible for everybody, not good.
Well, so one of the things is that what's coming out now out of the research is that we're finding that again, you said instead of U.S. aid, you said what they had actually been paying for the gain of function for the SARS-CoV vaccine. Yeah. And so now we have where they've actually come out and showed evidence that it was being weaponized. It was being utilized.
$40 million.
Yes. And so these are things that as Elon Musk is going out and he's looking at this and stuff. And one of the things that I plan on doing when I get in there is opening up the books. We're going to sit down and we're going to literally talk to Elon, and he's going to have access to where the money went, and we're going to open up the books and let him go through.
So here's the deal: when you get to do this, I would like you both to come on my show, you and Elon. I'm dead serious.
One of the things, and so I was telling JP this, he and I had talked this week, and I told him, I said, one of the things that you might need to think about is podcasts. We have our own media deal where we do conferences and we press conferences and stuff. And we're going to have access to people like yourself that has a podcast that you can be there and you can ask questions. You'll be able to sit and ask questions.
I can go to the normal place where they have the people get interviewed, and your person on Trump's the 27-year-old gal who's really top notch. They have that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know her by her first name. I'm sorry, but I didn't realize that you did either. But that you got to learn all that, So
well, the thing is that that's the press White House press corps.
Yes.
HHS is going to have its own press corps as well.
Hey, that's super. I keep that in mind. All right. This is amazing. Okay, so the Dems now. Let's talk about Title IX. And those little girls that all got to be with Donald, including Gaines.
Yeah, Riley Gaines.
Yeah. When Trump announced there's only two genders, male and female, and we're going to stop the males from going to compete with women, girls. And we're going to keep them out of the bathrooms, keep them out of the dressing rooms. So, what do you think about how he did that, and what do you think about how he's liked better or worse by the females?
Well, I think he's liked a whole lot more because, like anybody else, females don't want males in their locker room, in their bathrooms, or anything else. Unless they're married to them, and then sometimes they don't want them in there. So, but
right there. Is that true, honey?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. More than sometimes. Get out! Get out,
but,
here. I'm here.
The thing is that we need to honor our women just as God has honored our women, and each person has their place. And the thing is that we have proven this over and over, where you can take a guy that is competitive, and he may be ranked 400, but that 400th place would rank first in women's sports because of the muscle structure, the testosterone level that's in the human body. Physiologically, we're just stronger. Now, there are some women that can, do bodybuilding and stuff, and they can get strong. But if you pit somebody that is their height, their weight, their size, and they're equal to that, they're still going to be stronger than that person, that individual. Sure. And so the thing is that God made us for a purpose, and that was to go and populate and produce other people, human beings in the earth. And so one of the things that we've got to do is understand what God's purpose is, but also celebrate not only the differences between male and female, but understand that how great the female really is, and what they bring to the table, and especially at the top where they're competing against each other in sports and stuff. The thing is that I would like to see Riley Gaines, give her title back,
sure,
and take it away.
Some are suing for that now.
Exactly, because that I think it's wrong that you take this person who couldn't even make any of the male teams and everything else, and then sets world records in the women's. I mean, all of that should be stripped away and done away with.
And these girls have been damaged to the extent that they've lost careers as maybe coaches, as maybe getting a scholarship. They have damage. So if you know any good lawyers, you might suggest that to them, and I'm sure they're already suing it. What do you think?
There's several of them that have already started putting it out, and we're gonna try to right the ship. I mean, the thing is that the children were in charge for 4 years. Now the adults are back in charge. And the thing is that it is a clear mandate by the American people when they elected Donald J. Trump as our president.
Absolutely.
They wanted him to come and fix the problem. And that's exactly what he's doing. That's the reason why
America knows. They know now what's going on. Now, whether it's going to change or not, we have to be vigilant in making sure that doesn't happen, because we have to tell people like yourself. And you're telling people, Bill's telling people, my wife is, and so is JP. We're telling people about this, and I'm not making money doing this a lot. Okay, I mean, I'm doing this because I like where I live, and I don't want anybody to mess with me or my family. Okay?
Well, and that's the reason why. And we're also, if you don't understand what President Trump's doing, here's the thing. Right now, we have this top-down, being the president and the government and everything else dictating to the people. And that's not what our founding fathers did. We're going to turn that around. And the thing is that, I'm going to be part of the federal government, but you have somebody in your studio right now that will have more power than I will. And that's exactly what our founding fathers wanted. They wanted the state House representatives and state Senate to be the most powerful, and the federal Congressional Senate to be weaker.
You got that. All right.
So, Bill,
.net, where can people find you and contribute to Ryan?
So you can go to giftsandgo.com/Ryan Zink. And again, it's Zink is the last name. And you can donate to his attorney fund is basically what it is, because he's not doing that. And so here's another, I'll give it to you in 20 seconds. The FBI has gone out to the J6ers and started causing them to lose their job. My son had a job for a week and a half and was fired.
From the FBI?
FBI, we still have rogue agents that are going out creating problems for the J6ers.
That's interesting. All right. All right. Well, listen, I'm very proud of you. I'm proud that you chose to come on this show. I consider you a friend. And, well, other than that, I got to tell you this. Remember the days when going viral meant you could skip school? Well, under RFK and you, those days will be over. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not supposed to be a joke.
Good. Good.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate it. I just
Hey,
avoided
you bet. Anytime, Dave.
crickets there.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
And Bill, call me anytime you want.
I will too. I will, and I
Congrats,
appreciate our
Jeff.
friendship.
We're looking forward to you, Jeff,
Yes.
making America healthy again.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Say hi to Elon. Hey, I'll be back with another edition of the Dave Weinbaum Show next week, next Friday.
Keep walking, keep on your toes.